Huh?
Hey, welcome to All Politics Local. We're having some technical difficulties, but we're going to be up and running in just a second. Hello, can you
Yep, I hear you.
Great, great. Welcome. We finally got that straightened out. Welcome to All Politics Are Local. My apology for the technical difficulties that we had. We just had some mix up with some links and stuff, but we are all good now. Welcome to All Politics are Local. Those of you who have been chiming in for the last few minutes, you have just seen my face on it. We were just having a couple of technical difficulties. We're going to do the quick rundown of the show, and then we're going to get right into it with our guests. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for coming on tonight's show. 6 o'clock, we have election. What's next in Newark and the city of Newark's the city of Newark's chief of staff, Middy Baraka, and the architect of of the elections for the last few years. We're going to get more into that, a lot into that in the next few seconds. At 7 o'clock, we're going to have South Ward Councilman Patrick Councilman talking about the runoff in the South Ward. Newark elections are exciting. At 7:30, we have Vereliz Santana, a New Jersey Democratic Party state committee member, coming on as a state committee member and her own person, talking about voting and the politics of representation in the state. At 8 o'clock, we have Sharone Salaam and Hawa talking about renaming a Harlem street after Mohamed Bah, because police violence against those with mental health crises must stop. At 8:20, we have Stop Deed Theft with Evangeline Byars of the Stop Deed Theft Coalition, because they're straight stealing property, and we're going to have a lot of conversation about that. And at 8:40, we have The Angel's Place. That is a new play by Carolyn Jones. It's going to be on at the Newark Museum of Art on Saturday, May 23rd, and doors will open at 2 p.m. We'll talk more about that later. So, welcome to All Politics Are Local. Middy Baraka, welcome to All Politics Are Local again. It's been a little while since you have been on. Welcome and congratulations on the re-election of Raz Baraka and the re-election of most of the ticket. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me, bro.
Now, you have been Ed definitely said he wanted to start off talking about what you've done with winning elections and what that's about. He called you the architect. What do you think he meant by that in terms of the series of wins that you've had over the past few years in multiple elections? What do you
Yeah.
do in the capacity? Like everyone knows you're chief of staff, but
hmm
what do you do in this election capacity?
Well, I manage the entire campaign and try to make sure that people, actually make sure we win. Let me just put it like that. Make sure we win, and folks that are on the ticket stay on message, and that we get the reach our goals that we need in each ward, and also about engagement and turnout and all kind of other aspects of the election that I'm responsible for, but mostly on the groundwork, knocking on doors, making sure we got a phone bank, making sure we have volunteers, making sure the campaign stay vibrant and full of energy.
Okay, so campaigns. So what would you say about this week? Like you won most of these races outright. You had wild success, and in the Central Ward, you had a particularly close, we thought would be a particularly close race that was also decided pretty solidly. So, talk to me about what happened. Talk to me about the election, part of what happened, and some of what comes next.
So, this election probably was the worst. I mean, in terms of, it was just the most unprincipled election that I've been a part of in terms of other candidates and what they brought to the table. This was a more personal kind of election where people took pot shots at the mayor, pot shots at whoever the Baraka candidates was. This is more like an anti-Baraka, anti-establishment kind of election. And you, as you can see, because of the state, where people were only allowed to get 100 petitions signed, everybody joined in the election. Everybody became a candidate. And, it was just a free for all. And basically, in a free for all, is throw the ball up, whoever get it, win. But fortunately for us, we jumped up together. We have an organization, and we've been doing this for a very long time. And we work hard, and nobody's going to outwork us. We know exactly what number we need, know the targets we need to get in each district. And We worked it and we understood the magnitude of the election in the Central Ward. We knew that it was going to be close in the Central Ward because Gail got the union support, particularly the laborers. And support. The carpenters. I'm sorry, and supporting her, and in that group. So we understood that they were going to have people on the ground knocking on doors. So we just had to match the energy. We matched the energy in the Central Ward. I personally uh, stopped in the South and went to the Central Ward myself. And I got more troops in the Central Ward, and we had an overlay in the Central Ward. We just had to make sure Amina Bay came home, and we did that. And we did everything that we needed to do to make sure she remained the councilwoman in that ward. And there's a lot of nuances to it that I could get into. Um,
And some of the questions, I'm gonna just steer you back, right? Like
mhm,
elections are tough, right? We saw
yeah.
there an academic released a campaign ad, right, that said that from 1970, talking about how Amir Baraka wants to kill all white people, and that it was like this inflammatory thing. It's like he will be chief of staff of Gibson if he wins. Right? Newark has a history of like just tough, like
Hmm.
harsh campaigning compared to that stuff that I would think it was Noelle Williams. She's an academic. She does a lot of history stuff, and she put that out there because there
Hmm.
was a lot of, Newark has a history of harshness in campaigns. Um, this one, it seems like you took personally. Talk to
Yeah.
me some about that, especially given the context of like I remember with Sharp James and fried rice at the end of it, right? Like, and we've talked about this before. Like, we've had a lot of conversations about what it was like to run the harshness of different campaigns over the years. What is this in that context?
So the difference is social media, right? And so it's like a campaign and live stream. So in a campaign on different platforms where folks would just post and you could see in live time, real time, what people are doing. They make up lies and then they spread the lies around and they get followers. And it's a whole treatment that they have towards this social media that makes this a little bit different from 1970. So there was no social media around then, where people couldn't, actually campaign on air like that. So I think that right there is a big difference. And look, people always, complain about turnout. But when I look at turnout, it's low turnout all throughout, the country and in local elections. And that's because people don't want to get involved in all this nonsense. Elections is about leadership. Elections supposed to be about inspiring people, right? It's supposed to be about inspiring people. And what these people do is they go low and they personally attack folks. And actually they suppress the vote. People stay home because they don't want to be involved in juvenile behavior. They don't want to be involved in that kind of behavior. So they blame us for that. But that's not us. People got to take a good look at themselves because like we're the main cause of this low turnout. It's like voter suppression. Nobody talks about the solutions. Everybody talk about the problems. Nobody talk about the issues. Everybody want to talk about the fault. Blame the mayor, blame the administration, blame the government. Go and see a pothole. Go see homelessness. Go see abandoned properties, and they show it, and it really turns people off.
But when you're looking at like politics in this, right? Like Middy Baraka, I know you are tough.
Yeah,
You part your thing, and we have had lots of conversations. You can give as good as you get, and you are not shy. No one will say
no,
Middy Baraka is shy. No one will say that you have a thin skin. You take a lot of criticism, and you have conversations with people. People can criticize you hard. I have seen people criticize you harshly, and you have these conversations afterwards. But there seems to be something different about this. And is it just social media or is it the nature like what were the attacks that went beyond bounds and how would you how is that different from
So,
other campaigns where you have been able to take it and
mhm.
dish it out and do well?
Right. So, let's start with that. Where's the money, Raz? Lie that flew around the internet. That is partly the reason why Donna actually is in. That's a whole nother story. But um the money question about we stealing money. Like, I don't understand where that came from, where that narrative, that doesn't even make sense. $600 million doesn't even make sense. I don't even question that kind of stuff, but to question people's principles and integrity, like we're in down there stealing. They don't understand the history of black elected officials around America. If there was a dime missing, that we would be in jail the next day. They don't understand that. So to actually run with that narrative and people believe it is so crazy. And I think it's because the longevity of the Baraka administration,
Mm.
right? And the lack of our administration, and I'm gonna say this, the lack of our administration to communicate clearly with the public in real time about what the mayor has actually accomplished. Because I can argue that Mayor Raz Baraka has accomplished more than any mayor, black mayor, that ever stepped in City Hall. And I can argue that point. I could start, with the lead service lines. Like, nobody ever thought we would get out of that crisis. Tried to paint us as Flint. He pulled us out of that, right? That we could even go to the, inclusionary zoning ordinance. We got 20%. Developers have to set aside 20% of affordable housing for people. That has never happened. People could have been did that, but that never happened until Mayor Baraka came here. They didn't even have a discussion about that until Mayor Baraka did. So when I know that this stuff is happening, and there's people with a blind eye to say that we down there stealing, and we know we're not. We're actually putting money in black and brown people pocket. That's hurtful.
But maybe there's a different way to look at it, right? The mayor won with 70% of the vote.
Right.
The person who campaigned against him and was and leveled many of those same remarks did not only didn't get elected but lost in a landslide. So it's clear that the mayor himself is popular, the policies are popular.
Right.
At the
Right.
same time, right, you have Donna Jackson who won on Where's the Money, right?
Right.
Like that was the theme.
hmm Yeah, that was the thing.
The but the way that I look at it isn't the way I look at it isn't negative, isn't like people believe the accusations because he wouldn't have been reelected, the other people wouldn't have won, that people actually believed that you were crook or stealing or whatever, right? Like that's just not there's
hmm
not evidence for that. But there is a demand for accountability.
hmm
Raz Baraka is one of the most popular mayors in the country now. The reason
Yes.
why that there wasn't a lot of opposition is because he is popular and people point out historical crime rates. They point out things on the water supply. They point out like there's a list of different things that he's
Right.
done that are
Absolutely.
clear, right? And even the things that people and are legitimately afraid of, like people are afraid of higher cost. They're afraid of higher rents. They're afraid of all of those things coming down. And Donna may speak to that, as in she has a track record of actually helping people, right? There are a lot of people who literally were helped from the years of community activism that she did, and it's always been mixed. She says a lot of things that are negative. She says some things that are inflammatory. She says some things that can't be substantiated, and that's been consistent. That's the consistent criticism, right? Hopefully, we'll have her on, uh, the interviewer, and we'll have the same thing I'm saying to you. It'll be the same thing I'm saying to her, as in there's good, there's bad, there's mixed. Do you think that maybe what people want is just, hey, Raz is popular, but she was elected just because there always need to be checks because of the popularity, because of all the things he's done, because of the goodwill that he has throughout the city, that there always needs to be somebody who says, hey, what's going on? Because there's no there is no one who would think that the administration can't defend itself, right, from these. Middy, you still there? Did you hear? Were you in? Could you hear what I was saying?
He was muted. Now you lost him. He just fell off.
Okay. All right. Hopefully he comes back. But part of me is that the criticisms ultimately didn't matter because he won with 70% of the vote. He's coming back. But ultimately, the criticisms didn't matter on their substance because he won with 70% of the vote. But because he is so incredibly popular, do you think that it's possible that Donna Jackson won not because people actually believed he was stealing money, but because everybody needs a check? Even somebody who has done something, accomplished something, is wildly popular. Like 70% of the vote, and your candidate's winning, even in the Central Ward, right? That
Yeah,
that wasn't as close of a race as last time.
right.
Like it was, there was no. There is it possible that the criticism, as dangerous as it is, because if you get Rahman Muhammad always tells the story of when he was accused, when he was a union head, and when he was accused publicly of theft, that he was investigated for 2 years and had to deal with the stress and pressure of that investigation. But ultimately, he was like, there was no stealing going on, but that's
Right.
the pressure of that.
Right.
Do you think that this is the harshness of the campaign ultimately is just a sign of like success, and that when you have someone like Donna Jackson elected, it is just
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
everybody needs checks, right? Like the budget's late,
Yeah.
so they need checks, right? There are questions, and I, from the conversations I've had with you, it
Hmm.
seems like you are much more like Rahman Muhammad, and that you like you enjoy the debate.
I
You
do.
enjoy the like you accuse you of something, you'll be like, you have no evidence, this is bad,
Right.
talk to me. Why is this any different than the stuff that you normally fight, right?
So number one, I don't think that where's the money kind of thing was the sole reason she was elected. I think that Donna Jackson is a household name in Newark, and she's been on the front lines fighting and on the microphone for a long time on a activist side, and people just know her name. And I said that in the beginning of our campaign. I said Donna is going to be an issue because people know her, and her placement on the ballot was number two, and all of this stuff in terms of politics. That's a factor. Those are some important factors. Name recognition, right? Ballot position is a factor, and the fact that she you know hooked up, and everybody that was anti-Baraka had her on their literature. And I don't think people know that every candidate, because I was in the street, I saw it. Every candidate had Donna Jackson. They teamed up with her. From the people in the South and the people in the West, they had tickets going around with Donna Jackson on every single ticket, and and that helped. That's just science of campaigns and stuff.
Are you you're coming in and out? All right, so yes, you're coming in and
Something
out.
to say to people. Can you hear me?
You were out for the last 15 seconds.
Okay. So in
You're
terms of
back.
the harshness of the campaign, yeah, I think it's a part of it. It's a part of it, but you know, we never stooped that low. Like we never ever put a meme of people of a man being a woman. We don't do stuff like that. We don't like the kind of stuff that was going on in this campaign, the lies, the blatant lies. We just don't do that. And I think that's that's the Trump culture that people feel like, they realize that thing worked for Trump. They tried to take it and borrow it here in Newark. And they just, the lies got louder, and folks started to believe it. And where, Braz Baraka, not only the most popular mayor, he's the most progressive mayor. And why would we want to hurt our leaders? Why we want to scandalize our leaders? I don't understand why we want to even put them in a pigeonhole of that kind of stupidity. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. He don't have to be the mayor of this city. I don't have to be the chief of staff of this city. We doing this because we love our people. We want to help. We genuinely want to help people get out of the positions they are in, and that's it. I don't, and I don't apologize for nothing or anything that we ever done while we was in City Hall.
Now, part of the good thing about this, like you bring up the type of rhetorical strategy that mirrors what Trump does. Like you have a series of
Hmm.
lies, you put those lies out there,
Yeah.
they're denigrating in a particular way.
Hmm.
And if they're doing that and the name calling, that is a strategy. But clearly here, it seems like every politician who simply used that strategy, it wasn't it what most of the politicians use that strategy alone, it wasn't effective.
Right.
And when you're dealing with, Donna Jackson, it's more than just that, right? It is
Hmm.
she has a history of doing a lot of good things within the city. There are people I've talked to who are in different, like they work in education or they work in other places, or they've had something happen go wrong, and she's been an advocate for them very specifically. So she's got 20 years of doing good stuff too. And I think that a lot of that's mixed up in there, right? But everyone who solely ran as an and Donna Jackson is not an internet candidate, right? Like she is, even if stuff about her peers on the internet, Donna Jackson is always in the street. She's been in the street for 20 years, on
Hmm.
movement after movement after movement after movement. She was part
Hmm.
of the original Newark Anti-Violence Coalition, right?
Hmm.
So she's there. She's been on the ground. It seems like the good news in this is anyone who did not have that track record, right? And anyone who did not was not in the streets in the way that she was, it wasn't even close,
Gross.
right? Like the
I
like the
agree.
like the way of running campaigns isn't over the internet. It's still old fashioned the way that you do it, door to door.
Right. Right. I agree. I agree. But every Donna Jackson didn't have any money, by the way. Let's say that. So everything that she did was on the internet. But folks use her popularity as an activist. They tried to use her when actually she used them. Um,
Hmm.
to get some numbers, but it didn't work. And actually, it helped Donna Jackson
Hmm.
um, to get to where she is today. I would never look. Listen. I'm happy that Donna's on the council, and people going around saying that we unhappy. Why would we be unhappy about a black woman being on the council? I don't understand. We're not afraid of that. This is a democracy is messy. Like and who the messiest person when it comes to this thing, the loudest person in the room is Donna Jackson. We can hold our own. We're not afraid of her. We don't,
Hmm.
we're not running from the smoke. We love it. Like, cause
Hmm.
look, that's how they painted Baraka when he first got on the council. He's gonna be the loud mouth on the council. He's gonna be the one. He's gonna be the one that's gonna turn the council around. He's gonna be the one that's gonna speak truth to power. It's the same thing. The same thing. It's like, and the fact that we've been in office for so long, we have now become the establishment, and we
Right.
no longer grassroots activists yelling at the a podium no more. That's the Donna Jackson now. And look. I'm not, like I said, I wouldn't be mad at that. That would be like me being mad at, Ras Baraka for being in the anti-violence coalition of Black Near Force.
Hmm.
Right? That doesn't make any sense because we know how we all got here through protests, through direct action. So listen, it is what it is. We welcome her on the council.
But I think Middy's correct, John, when he says, when he's talking about how, everybody else was trying to use her popularity by putting her face on all of their flyers and posters. But in the end, what happened was is that they just boosted her
Yep.
because she had more name recognition and more visibility. Because remember, she was a part of all of those marches that the mayor was leading,
Yep.
right before he became the councilman. And so you got to remember, she was out there. So I mean, what they thought they were doing in terms of exploiting her to get numbers, what happened was, and as Middy just said, she didn't have any money. So what
Mm-mm.
happened is that she benefited by
Yes, she
those
did.
folks inviting her to speak, with seniors or putting her
Hmm.
name on things. And so when people went to the polls, they looked at her ballot position at number 2. I mean, it
Right.
was like, oh, that's a name that we recognize. Bang, let's
Yep.
hit that name, right? So Mitty is correct in terms of that. But what I wanted to talk to Mitty really about what you said earlier when you talk about what people fail to remember is that you and Raz really don't have to do what y'all doing, right? Y'all chose to do this because of the love of the city. That's what we want to talk about a little bit because, Mitty, you took on the job of being the architect, and that's what I'm calling you now, because I've looked at all of your wins. I looked at the way that you structure and put all of this stuff together. But I think that people don't really know you, right? And I
Hmm.
think that they forget that, you went to Howard University, you got a college degree, right?
Yes.
You made a choice to come back to the city. You could have said, no, music is where I want to be and that's what I'm going to do. But no, you came back to help your brother. And I think that those, we want to talk about that because when people began to do these nefarious things and take these pictures and put pictures of the mayor out there. What people forget is that the mayor's married and he got children,
Right.
and his kids are going to see those things,
Yeah.
and so I think that when people are doing that because they're desperate and they think that that's what's going to get them elected, and yeah, at the end of the day, we do have people who want to use sensationalism because what they found with Donald Trump is that stuff gets you clicks and that stuff gets you attention,
Right.
whether it's true or not, right? People can say that, because when she started saying, "Where's the money, Raz?" Remember, people grabbed onto that and began to make memes and music videos and stuff like
Yep.
that. It doesn't necessarily need to be true, but at the end of the day, I think what we want to do is be clear that we're really one city. Ain't nobody mad,
Right.
because Donna Jackson won. I mean, we're
Right.
happy about that,
Yeah. Exactly.
right? But let's not take away from all of the things that need to be done. But we do want to shame the devil. We do want
That's
to
right.
say that all of that mean shit that was done was uncalled for. And I think those people owed an apology to the city because I think that, like you said, Mitty, that turned a lot of people off that
Yeah.
didn't come out to vote.
Yeah.
I know it turned me
Absolutely.
off because I couldn't wait until the election was over.
Yeah. 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 We are part of the reason why there is we're low turnout during that election. And I will not, back away from that statement. This was a very dirty campaign. Yes, Newark elections are crazy. Newark elections
Right.
are wild and disgusting sometimes, but
Not,
this
not,
particular
but
election went over the top.
so I'm gonna just for one of the things that I actually liked about this campaign. I thought clearly in a lot of the opposition stuff. I don't think that those memes were effective, and I think that some of them backfired. Like the one that was most egregious is the one that was ended up being homophobic. It ended up being like it just turned people off, and I think it hurt candidates who used it. On the other side, right, there were AI videos that were actually political satire. We had an entire show dedicated to political satire, and the difference between satire and the mean and ugly stuff is often about effectiveness, right? Like there were a lot of videos that my mom had put out that were political satire. They were actually like, "Where's the chicken?" It
Right,
was a,
right,
it was an attack on stuff that actually happened, right?
right.
There was stuff that there was a code to it, but it was also many people didn't like it, and they were like, "Hey, all this stuff that was out there." So my big pushback on a lot of it is there's there's stuff that was like just nasty and ugly, but it was also ultimately ineffective. And the most effective thing, right, in terms of where's the money, could have simply been a criticism of a legitimate issue of budgets, right?
Right.
Like budgets were late. We know that. We know that this is an issue. People are concerned about it. Have a talk. I mean, that where's the money is people didn't take it as thinking that Raz Baraka was crooked. Most people won't think he's stealing money. Most people don't think that. Because he won with 70% of the vote. Someone who's seen as being crooked will not win with 70% of the vote, right? But I think that there are criticisms, just like when Rahman Muhammad put out the Where's the Chicken and the other things that were effective criticisms. I think that Donna's Where's the Money was simply where's the transparency in the budget? Here are some questions. This is a democracy. Questions have to be answered.
Right, but
Uh,
John, but here's the problem with that.
I
Here's the
disagree
problem
with
with
that.
that, right? And Middy, you can answer. But
Yeah,
the
I just
problem with that, John, is that when you start putting those kind of things out in the air, remember, a lot of our
Right.
people got low information based around politics. So if you making those kind of statements, right, about people, and what happens is that most people aren't going to do the research. And you know, our people love gossip.
But do you think people believed it? Because given the voter, given what happened in the election with 70%, that's overwhelming. He's one of the most popular mayors in the country after all the negative campaign. Like he's not just liked, he's loved because of what he did after
yeah, but
everything.
John, let's look at turnout, right? Let's talk about the turnout. That's the key thing to look at is the turnout in these elections. And again, Raz Baraka is loved. He's the most popular black elected official throughout the state of New Jersey. It is
He's the
what it
most
is.
popular official throughout, black or white. There's
Black,
nobody who's more popular than Raz Baraka as an elected official in the state of
right?
New Jersey.
Agreed. However, you know that where is the money is irresponsible because if we look to my perspective, because perspective is important, people do not view it the same way we view it. People
Right,
don't have the type of intelligence or
right,
college at a degree that we have. They don't have that. They don't have that pedigree that we come from. They just don't. And they're not going to look at it like that. They take everything for face value.
right,
And that's the problem. When they take it for face value, not only do you demean this man's character, you demean, you stopping people, people are stopping to start to question him a
right,
little bit. Folks that want to get involved, they won't get involved. They say, oh, I don't know. They start to question, why am I even supporting Raz Baraka when they talking about where's the money? I need to find out if that's real or not. So that kind of stuff like that is, it's just, it's uncalled for. And I just think, you know, I'm not going to give him a pass on that, and I wouldn't even view it the way you did in terms of democracy. No, she meant what she meant, right? And people are going to take it that way. And even if you ask Donna Jackson about it, I can't wait to hear what she says. I bet any amount of money she says something about the budget and $600 million of discretionary funds, which don't exist, right? So
right,
I just it's crazy to me because they really start to believe their own lies.
right.
That's the funny part.
But that and that's the point that I'm making, John. You know, because people can make those kind of statements, and what happens is that people begin to believe it, right? I can't hear
And
you.
and that ultimately
God, I can't hear.
is and
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 remember, John, remember under Trump, remember he said if you tell a lie long enough, people would begin to believe it, right?
well, I think the I think for me the biggest thing was the Rock Muhammad story, right? When there were accusations that were made in the union, and then the FBI got involved, right? And that actually targets people in ways that are pretty unnecessarily devastating within the community. I think that the calls for federal investigations in this time is kind of like you don't get where we are when you are calling for people who are currently prosecuting or persecuting our congresswoman to get
Right.
involved in this thing in the very same way that
Right.
Rahman talked about it a couple of years back, right? Those accusations led to places that empowered people who want to attack us
Right.
to attack us. And that becomes even more pronounced right now, given that we are under actual attack by an administration that uses the Justice Department in horrible ways.
Well, you're right. You're right, John.
Yeah.
That is why the man made the statement when he said, when we were down there at that discussion down in the Portuguese section, when he said we're talking about people who would call in the Trump administration on people that hate us, right? So whether something is true or not, we're talking about calling in people who will make up things, right? And so
Now,
so we've got to be careful about calling on folks and accusing folks of things and then calling on the Trump administration. We know that lying and making up things is not below these people, but these people don't understand, John, that at the end of the day, you don't play on that level.
and here's the thing that I think is also important, right? Richard Bay, he's known well through the community, does radio show with kids, and he asked for years, right? That Seton Hall, and he asked
That's
the
a
question,
long time, Richard Bay. Long
right,
back when we were all in school together. He goes back.
right, like he was my Richard Bay was my instructor when I was at Seton Hall Upper Bound,
Mm.
and he's been doing that program since then. He said, "How can you improve the messaging of your administration?" And Roger Leon, the superintendent, had something very similar happen with Republicans in the state who were accusing him of stealing money, and he had to have a blitz based on that because he knew how serious those allegations were, and the and there was a messaging that went about to it, and that's still ongoing. So, with that question, um, how is the administration improving its messaging specifically on that question?
Can you repeat that? You went in and out. I'm on that.
Oh, how is the administration improve? Like the message, you're right in terms of messaging that is toxic, like that, can spread wide, can have very negative repercussions. For me, I was less concerned with the reputational damage because he is very popular, but more with the ways in which the Justice Department could get involved in ways because we already know that the United States Justice Department is corrupt. It's the way it's attacking LaMonica, et cetera. How would Richard Bay ask the question? How should the administration improve its messaging around these accusations?
Admitted that's another way of phrasing, the self-criticism that you made.
I can't hear him.
He can't hear us.
Can you hear
Yeah, I
us?
can hear you now. I can hear you now. I was on the
No,
elevator, but I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
Richard Bay raised a question about improving communication, and I'm saying it's another way for you to expand on the self-criticism that you made about
I can't hear y'all. Zaid, are you talking?
Yeah, Zai was talking. I can hear him.
Are you?
Mitty, can you hear
I heard Zay. I heard him.
I can't hear
I heard
you.
him.
Okay.
Ed
Yeah,
can't
so-
I
hear.
can hear you, John.
Ed, okay, Ed, come out and go back again, and then you might be
Okay.
able to hear Zai
All right.
better.
Yep.
But on that question of messaging, what
Mhm.
what is it that what are some of the ideas that you have in terms of messaging better?
So I think our main objective now, and the mayor talked about this at the level 2 meeting, which is so ironic about messaging and of how we got to control the message, and we can't depend on the same bureaucratic media that normally would take on a message and we got to put out our own messages. We got to make sure that we hire independent communicators, like we did in this election. We hired someone who worked on the Kamala Harris campaign to actually run our social media page, to put out our own messages, to run our own stories, to run our own interviews. And I think that's the way to go, because we cannot depend on mainstream media to put out a message for us anymore. It's not going to work, because they're going to put out what they want to put out, and they're going to spin it the way they want to spin it. So we need to just make sure, besides our regular city hall messenger communications office, We need to hire some, people that's grounded in our community, people that understand. There's a lot of black media that we could use, a lot of Puerto Rican media that we could use, independent folks that we could use that could actually, spin the message the right way it's supposed to be put out.
Okay. One of the listeners asked the question, who is Rahman? Who was I referring to? I was referring to Rahman Mohammed, the deputy mayor. He was head of a national slash local union, SCIU, for many years. There were open accusations that were made that were factually baseless, and he nevertheless had to undergo 2 years of a federal investigation. Him, his family, and that part, he was a union head, right? So he had to undergo all of that, and federal investigations are no joke. They interview everybody, every contract, everything that goes on. So there was levels of harassment, and that was from an administration that had a normal justice department. This justice department is like not even, it doesn't even begin to be normal, and they've already started persecuting
Weaponized
our
requests.
local politicians,
Yes,
like
sir.
LaMonica MacGyver, who is facing an absolutely unjust prosecution by the United States federal government, to the point where she has the potential of actually becoming a political prisoner because there's jail time that's associated with the charges that they're charging against her. So in the climate of having a justice department that is blatantly going after political enemies, that seems to calling for them seems to be to miss the moment entirely.
Right. I agree.
And you were saying
I just think, John, and I'm not saying this because I'm on your podcast. I think places like this, All Politics Are Local, other venues, but we need to, empower you guys, empower, folks in the community that have these outlets, and start using them more often than none, because that's the only way it's going to stay truthful, and people can't spin, whatever that we're trying to get out to our people. And the problem is, we depend on mainstream media. It's like all over every day. It's like, you can't get away from it. Everybody wake up to it. But we got the power and the ability to actually empower you and to empower our people. And I just think we need to go on a campaign to do that. One thing about Donald Trump is, that people love that bravado piece about him. They fell in love with that kind of, message that he said, fake media. And people ran with it. And listen, before Donald Trump was saying that, remember, Public Enemy came out with a piece about the media assassin, Harry Allen. Y'all remember? I don't know if y'all remember that.
yep,
Yeah, so we was never friends with the mainstream media. That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, so we was never friends with the mainstream media.
all right. Thank you.
Get
I,
feedback.
yeah, let me. All right. So yes, we're back. We cut out that feedback. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so
Now,
I mean, we need to we need to support each other, man, out here in the community in terms of empowerment, in terms of government and local, broadcasting and local media. And we just need to we need to come a different way. We gotta be a little bit more creative on how we get this message out. And also, again, like I said, we gotta hire independent folks and not just
and
depend on these regular people that's out here doing the same nonsense.
I think that the strength of, for me, the strength of the Baraka administration and what they've been doing for the last few years is that they have clear policies that are
I
informed
can't.
by research.
They gotta
And
fix their shit, man. I can't put
those
back in.
policies, we can hear you actually. Can you hear
Can't
us?
put- can't
Can
hear.
can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So the so you have policy, and you've been following policies that have been informed by research. Ed, you need to put yourself on mute because we're getting feedback from you. But there's policies that are informed by a lot of the things that you've done. They're always they're progressive, they're smart, they've been written up all over the country. And I think when you always lead with that, when you lead with the things that you do, I think that's the reason why ultimately why you win. When people are talking about the low crime rates, when people are talking about the different programs that you have, and at the same time talk about what you need to do in the future to directly deal with the fears that people have, right? And the
Right.
fears that people have
I
within
agree
the
with that.
city. So I think that when it comes to messaging, it's a lot of it is do more aggressively the stuff that you've been doing that literally talks about the solutions you have and you've had that have been dealing with people's lives. I think the mayor is going to always get a lot of love for what he did with what he's doing with the men's group, what he's doing with the Office of Violence Prevention, because we know growing up what that was and what that was about in terms of
Right.
violence within our communities. Getting those numbers down, that monumental. The stuff with the water, right? Monumental.
Yeah, but
So
John, I gotta say this. I hear you. We can lead with policy all we want, but the media doesn't love Raz Baraka. And you know what they called him, asked him about? They didn't ask him about turnout. They didn't on election day. They didn't ask him about turnout. They didn't ask him about policy issues. What's the most important part? Then they call him asking him about Africa being locked up by a tow company. Like, come
Wow.
on, what are we talking about?
Wow.
Like, is that silly, that low?
Wow.
That's why I made the point earlier to say that we gotta empower local media. I
mm,
understand that part. We do lead with that. We do lead with policy. We do lead with community development stuff. But the media don't cover it. They spin it. They want to cover
Right.
mm,
some foolishness about
Right.
Africa. Like, come
Right.
on.
right. Like the person who I had to literally press charges against. Right.
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 Like, come on.
Right.
They want us to
Right.
they don't like us. They just don't
Or at least
agree
file a
with us.
complaint against. Right.
Right.
They
But
don't
that
agree with us.
and that was my point, John, when I said that when you start talking about sensationalism, right? The people that hate Newark, that hate the Baraka administration, these are people that are going to gravitate toward that kind of nonsense, and that's why we've got to, not only do we have to respect each other, not only do we have to run respectable campaigns, but at the end of the day, we don't need to be making allegations based around non-truths, right? We don't need to be putting that kind of stuff in the air because at the end of the day, the people who are not our friends are going to take that stuff and spin it in a way that's going to hurt not only the mayor, but at the end of the day, end up hurting all of us. It hurts his entire city.
Right.
And I think this is a really good transition because we have Pat Council on, and as many of the stories that were negative that were coming through uh, based on election and the way that we're running uh, in the South Ward, it seems like that's a flip, right? The runoff may be I am predicting it will be one of the most positive campaigns that the city has seen in a long time. Uh, and so, but before we do that, um, I know
Can't
that
hear nothing.
Middy, I know that your time is limited. Can you hear us now? Can you hear what's going on?
You went out.
Okay. Okay, I think you went out. All right, Pat, welcome to All Politics are Local. Are you there?
Pat is muted.
Yeah.
All right.
Good. Yeah. Good
You're
evening.
here.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. So Middy, I know that your time
John, I
is
can't hear you.
Can, Ed, can Middy, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Uh,
I can hear you.
Okay, I know that your time is limited. Ed, I think there's something wrong with your stuff again. But uh, Mitty, I know your time is limited, but is there something else you want to say in like ending this off? And I know that we're definitely going to have you back on very soon talking about a lot of this stuff.
There's also DJ Mitty, so you got to ask him a music question too.
Oh, that's true too. So Mitty, are you on? Can you hear us?
And then he went out. We have, I don't know
All right.
what's going on.
I don't know what's going on with this.
Someone's in this internet Kool-Aid tonight that ain't cool.
All right, Pat Council, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so You have right now a campaign that is going on. Well, welcome to All Politics Are Local. We have just been talking about a lot of the negative campaigning that's been going on in the city. I'm looking at your campaign. I'm looking at the campaign of the person who's running in the runoff, and they're probably two of the most positive campaigns that were run. You are talking about the South Ward and the stuff that you've done, and it seems like in the runoff, I'm hoping that it becomes a model of how campaigns should be in terms of people running and getting the vote out and getting turnout out and doing what they have to do. So talk to me, man. South Ward, uh, welcome to All Politics Are Local.
I appreciate it again, man, for being on. And we had an election on Tuesday, May 12th, where the voters came out, and probably not in the numbers that we wanted them to come out, but they came out in the South Ward, and 2,165 of them agreed with the work that is happening in the South Ward and the things that are happening. Understands that the movement and leadership that's happening in the South Ward is visible, it's tangible, you can see it, you can feel it, the presence is real, and just really to talk about, real fundamental issues about people fighting, for what is right in the South Ward, and making sure that the residents and the citizens understand that when you elect a leader, you're electing a leader to be able to go down to City Hall and be able to organize around change, understand policy, the dynamics of policy, and then also be able to reach across bridges and bring people together, and begin to work and build networks that will help to strengthen the areas that you are, leading in. And that is the South Ward. And that's so important because a lot of times, sometimes we get so caught up and so constrained and kind of personal things that we miss the real obligation of why we send leadership there, right? To create laws, to advocate, to monitor, to work and create an ecosystem of business. And at the same time, be courageous enough to fight for quality of their life, stronger, police services and partnerships, to create, working relationships in a community that people understand that the best allies that we have is ourselves.
We were talking before about like the tone of the campaign overall. It seems like the way you have been carrying yourself in this campaign, the way the person who made it through is carrying themselves in this campaign, it seems like this is going to be a model of the runoff is going to be a model of what campaigning should be like. As in, people have ideas, they're going to be talking about those ideas. It's not going to be negative. It's going to be getting out vote, talking about accomplishments, tough, but within the bounds of what we should be. Is that how you feel about this particular runoff race?
I definitely, work around the concepts of ideas. I wish more, some of them push them out and challenge folks about it. I think is kind of difficult when, sometimes even being the incumbent, you are challenged more on ideas than the individuals that may be running against you. And, you have to be able to stay the course and understand that the work that you're doing is intentional and specific to what needs to happen for the benefit of the residents, and not just for today. Like the work we're doing is not just today's work. It's to build the foundation that's going to help the next generation come along and be able to, hold this city together and move it in a way that it's moving. Everything specifically, even in the South Ward, one of the wards that for years have been one of the most poverty-stricken wards with the most resource and accessibility to it by way of mass transportation, the airport, the seaport. And how do we continue to make those connections and have somebody at the table that is able to really understand the constructs of all of those things and begin in an intelligent way, put together a plan where we continue to benefit from it, from the port to the seaport, and even in our communities, and talk about not just economic investment, but development. How do we build stronger, housing stock and make it accessible and affordable for all of our people? But at the same time, understand the richness and the growth and development of why we need to grow community and not push poverty, but to raise people up to a standard and a level that we are all working together to help pull each other across the finish line and to help pull each other out of some of the constraints and things that we're in, and use the power that we have in a way that it is positive, that in a way that it is moving and challenging people to do things that is right. And so that's why, you know, over the last 3.5 years, I've been very vigilant in making sure that we're passing ordinances that is attacking not just today, but for years on, helping families, helping individuals who are living in bad living conditions, also passing ordinances that will continue to grow economic development, generate revenue into the city. These things are important.
And just talk about just some of those things right now. Like you did that the last time we were on our show, but just you were very specific. What are some of the specific things that you talk about that the South Ward has had under your leadership that are about building for the future?
Listen, under my leadership, we've built parks, created open space. That's for families. You know, when you look at Shamley Park Square, between Avon and Madison Avenue, a brand new park that was built under my leadership. Paulette Legacy Park that was built under my leadership on Ridgewood Avenue. And if you look right across the street, you'll see 2 brand new 2-family homes that come up. Then if you go right on Ridgewood Avenue, 4 brand new family homes, 4 brand new 1-family homes that will be selling for $130,000 to residents of this city. And then right on the back of Badger, we're building 8 additional homes that will create home ownership opportunities for residents in the city. So we are very keen about creating home ownership, developing it, growing home ownership, and then also creating systems where individuals can be able to have paths to not just home ownership, but to affordable lease rental options in the city. Building open space capacity, building parks, investing in small businesses, working with small businesses. As I talked to you before about the Comfort Suites on Freeland Heights Avenue, that's going to be connected to the transit hub on Freeland Heights Avenue. That's going to be connected to Lionsgate on Freeland Heights Avenue, creating an ecosystem of people.
Slow down a little bit. Slow down for that section, because this is something you actually didn't make that connection before. That is like, you're saying the hotel is going to be connected to the hub?
Listen, the hotel, which is the Comfort Suites, that will be changing over into the Marriott, because the Marriott recognizes what's going to be going on, that is built under the bottom of SNAP parking. Not only do they pay payroll taxes, property taxes, but they also pay hotel taxes. They pay close to $800,000 in revenue into the city to be there. And so it's on the corner of Freeland Heights Avenue. And when I say connection, because Freeland Heights Avenue, which is Route 27, is a connective strip. It's a state road, right? It's an investment road. And so that Comfort Suites hotel with SNAP parking there is not going to be too far down. If you go down by Freeland Heights Avenue and Mika, the new transit hub that's going to serve as the connector for New Jersey Transit and the connecting hub to get over to the airport. Then from there, you travel a little further down to Foster Street and Freeland Heights Avenue. You're going to find Lionsgate. That is going to be there in 2027. Right behind Lionsgate, you're going to find a brand new media high school that's going to be there in 27. That's opening right now at Bard High School and hiring. So that's job creation. I don't want people to understand that. When you open up a new school, it creates new jobs. The hotel has created jobs for South Ward residents. We've been working busy in this ward for the last 3.5 years, creating sustainable, intentional a movement for individuals to grow economy, to scale and grow up small businesses, that it affects our residents, to give them job opportunities for advancement to work, and to be able to be influential in their own communities. So all of these things are happening. And not only that, we have the new University High School that's going to be here in 2028, up off of Nye Avenue in the back of Hawthorne Avenue. The old Hawthorne Avenue school will be going to the old University High School, and the new University High School is going to be a campus right off of Dewey and Nye Avenue. This is the work that we've been doing. We've remodeled Utterman Field, Shabazz Stadium. We've put in new gymnasiums, new floors at the bequest of my leadership and the leadership of the work that we're doing here with the mayor as well. We're building a brand new state-of-the-art field house for the Weequahic High School football program, brand new concession stand area. And as we build, young people feel this. They understand that their value and worth is more. We've created the South Ward Leadership Academy. The last 3 years, we've taken 15 8th graders to Camp Linwood McDonald in Sussex, New Jersey, and developed leadership skills over overnight retreats where they come back and they utilize those skills, not in the classroom, but with each other. They network with each other. The first cohort that we have, they're all 10th graders now. As a matter of fact, you have one of them as the best debaters in this city and possibly in the state. That's the work that we're doing in the South Ward, growing youth and young adults. Listen, I'm not new to the South Ward, and I don't want people to understand that. I was an educator for over 6 years. I taught at Chancellor Avenue School in Irvington, 3rd grade. I was the former director vice president of the Newark School Board. I served on the school board from 2004 to 2007. Former president of Newark Preschool Council, which was the largest Head Start organization in the state of New Jersey before Cammie Anderson and some other folks came in and from the federal government and wanted to snatch away this contract from the largest Head Start organization that existed here. Those stories are real. Not only am I a former educator, I founded an organization in the South Ward that still to today exists from 1998 to current, providing services for over 600 families participating in Little League Baseball, Pop Warner football, cheer, and now wrestling, in which we added this year. And so we have been providing resources for the South Ward community way before I became a councilman. And this is what people have to understand, right? I'm a pastor here in the city of Newark, the St. John Baptist Church, 137 Family Avenue.
Back up, because I have known you for years. I did not know you were a pastor.
Last 15 years. I've been pastoring at St. John Baptist Church the last 15 years. I come out of the Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church, 83 Elizabeth Avenue, under the tutelage of the great Dr. Elton T. Bird. You know, and we've been in the struggle. And there's a brother on this line that can tell you we've been in this struggle way before the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition, which I'm a co-founder, was. We walked the streets with brother Khalid Muhammad. We organized with the NOI. We made noise in this community as activists, you know, doing clothing drives, feeding drives, you know, going up and down these streets and these communities, dealing and talking with our brothers and sisters, organizing gang truces, right, in this community, in these streets. And sometimes people miss that and don't understand and don't give value to the work that was put in, that they're able to talk all of these things today. We were arrested in the chambers of City Hall for organizing a right to speak at City Hall meetings, because when you go to council meetings, those are business meetings.
And you were actually
act and deal with the business of the city. We were arrested
and put on, and you were held like in Green Street or something like that, right?
Yes. For the rights to have some of the same residents that are speaking now come and speak. And so the work that we have been doing has been serious, and it's dangerous when we use this kind of tool of dismissing and this kind of politicking that is happening, because you believe that you're encouraging people to vote when you're really suppressing the vote, because you're scaring people to exercise their right that people died for. Mega died for it. Martin died for it. People died for the right for us to be able to get to these polls, exercise our rights to vote, not just for democracy, but for the hell that we've been through as Black men and women on this planet.
Councilman Council.
Yes.
Councilman Council, can you repeat that again about people dying for us so that we can walk into a poll for the people in the back that didn't hear you? I just want to make sure that they heard what you just said. Can you repeat that, sir?
Yeah, people have died for our right to vote. Mega died going to hug his children. Martin died. You know, C. Vernon John said, when you see a good fight, go get in it. He fought hard for the right for us to get the right to vote through Reconstruction, through poll taxing. People gave up their lives. They were lynched. They were hung because all they wanted to do was have an opportunity to exercise their right to vote, to liberate their people in their mind, to bring them to an understanding and an adage that freedom just doesn't mean being free off the plantation, but it means being free in the mind. And as long as we sick in the mind, we can never be free as people. And there are people out here that want to continue to allow us to be sick in the mind. And that's why we have to continue to fight and struggle every single day towards righteousness and justice for the benefit of our people.
Thank you.
So what are in the coming years, right? Like, well, actually in the last few weeks during this campaign, what have you learned from has the campaign itself taught you anything you've seen from this campaign that you're like, I'm learning from this, I'm taking it with me?
Listen, I've been a part of the Baraka campaign since 1994. Get Shorty for mayor. When he initially ran for mayor, when Mayor Sharp James at that time had cameras following him around with William Celeste as the police director, taping and following us around, and he was unsuccessful in his bid for mayor. But that was about strong, good negotiation and conversation about where we need to be going as a city. It wasn't demeaning. It wasn't voter suppression. It wasn't creating voter apathy. But it was exciting people to understand that we can be able to challenge each other on ideas, and the best ideas would be able to win out to how we move our city forward and move it together collectively, understanding that everybody has a role to play in it, from the homeless person to the rich person, from the middle class to the low and moderate income level of people. We all have a responsibility to be able to move this city forward. This city called Newark, we have a responsibility for it. So 94 we ran, 98 we ran, 02 we ran, 06 we ran, 210 we ran, until the mayor finally won 16 years. And so when you understand that kind of philosophy, there's people that when he lost 16, when he didn't win 16 years, we didn't win, we lost. And in those losses, we still understood what we needed to do as people that lived in this community, why it was important to organize our people around ideas that were right, around things that would help our people and advance our people, not around negativity, not around negative vitriol, but around things that would empower us to be able, that when we get in a place of power, we understand that power is not how you boss people around, but how you utilize the resources to help the people that need it. That's the constructs of what power should be. Utilizing it in a way that it helps the people. And then people that are helped, needs to understand that they need to be accountable for the way that somebody has helped them, and turn around and go help somebody else.
So
You have go ahead.
Oh no, Donna.
So, Councilman Council, I know I've seen you often doing a lot of community outreach. What are some of the plans that you haven't had the opportunity to do that you want to do in your next term?
In my next term, and I'm glad you answered that, I want to continue to raise the level of home ownership in the South Ward, because it's important. I want to continue to, fight the battle with Port Authority for job advancement, job movement. I want to continue to organize our community-based organizations, our nonprofit organizations. We've created a South Ward consortium the last 3.5 years, where we brought all of our CBOs and nonprofits together to organize and share ideas and resources that will help our people. And the more we pour into them financially, the more we pour into them resource-wise, they're able to help our people in the community. So when you say that the councilman didn't help you, but Clinton Hill helped you, the councilman didn't help you, but South Ward Promise helped you. The councilman didn't help you, but Jackie Robinson helped you. A Weekway Park Association helped you. When you say that, what you're really saying is that the councilman helped you because the councilman put into all of these places that help to provide the resources from you, be it Leaders for Life, be it Weekway Park Sports Authority, be it Jackie Robinson Little League, Clinton Hill Community Action, Brick Network, South Ward Promise, all of the organizations that we have to continue to grow and build them together in the South Ward, where people can be able to tap into resources and really begin to understand that everything that they need is in the room.
I don't think that people may fully understand what you just said. So I want you to repeat it, not just repeat it again, but when you talk about a convene or bringing these organizations together, is that the Newark Board of Education yesterday had a series of corporations and individuals and people who had social service organizations together, right? So they were public-private partnerships that would specifically help within schools. You mentioned a lot of organizations. I think that's something that you're talking about. So when you're talking about this, the consortium that you brought together, what is that, and how do those things actually help people?
So when we organized the consortium, the main function and thrust of the consortium is for people to recognize that whatever resource that you need, that it is not in a barren place, that there are organizations that are in your own community that you may not have knowledge of, that have the information, the wherewithal, the financial capacity, the service capacity to be able to help and provide the things that you need, that in other instances you may come to a council meeting and argue about. And so instead of arguing about well, what is happening with my light bill? Well, we have representatives from La Heat that's in a consortium that can be able to talk to you. We have individuals from Clinton Hill Community Services that have a senior component that helps with senior service information that you may need, from helping seniors to clean their homes or helping seniors with landscaping ideas. And all of these individuals that are working in these consortiums begin to help and work also with each other so that they can be able to network, power, and give information. Not only have we did this with the South Ward Consortium, but we've also did this with our anchor institutions that we started with the majority of our small businesses in the South Ward, bringing them to the table and showing them how to invest in each other, that they're using the goods and services of each other to help pour economy back into themselves, but at the same time, helping to build up capacity to hire South Ward residents and help to pour into the city. We do understand that when there is a development or a building built, doesn't matter if it's a 50-story unit with a commercial space on the bottom, and that commercial space happens to have a 7-Eleven or happens to have Aldi's on the bottom. If that Aldi's hires 100 people, that's payroll taxes that the city of Newark gets outside of the property taxes that the building has to pay. That's revenue generation. So not only are we creating revenue, we're creating job opportunities for people, and folks have to understand that pipeline of service and why it's important in building community and building municipalities and helping to build our ward, which is the South Ward, well over 50-something thousand people, well over 38,000 registered voters that has to continue to be excited about the possibilities of seeing vacant lots now have housing and projects that are on these things, and how other individuals are coming together. Listen, we just had Clinton Hill Community Action, the Newark Public Library, and other developers who have come together and merged together. They're about to work on a very exciting project that I don't want to unleash out the bag yet, but that's the kind of public-private partnership that we want to create and continue to create in the South Ward, that everyone is growing and moving together. What Pam Greer has done on the corner of Bergen Street with PHG and the 24-hour Blondie Learning Academy for families in that community that now are able to be able to take their young people there and have childcare for 24 hours. These are the things that we are doing and have been doing in this community. since I've come into office, and we are going to continue to, keep this motivation going, to continue to keep this work going, because it's important. It's valuable. It's sustainable. Helping young people, driving and motivating them, creating the Leadership Academy. We take the valedictorians and salutatorians every year. But why? Because we don't want them to think that because they're so smart that people forget about them and only focus on some of the young people that may be causing problems. We take them on trips every year to lift them up, to let them know that they're great, and to continue to do that and pull other young people up with them. We're doing this work in the South Ward community.
Councilman, you said briefly that you want to expand on your relationship with the Port Authority. I know, for instance, in New York, Congressman Meeks was able to level relationship for the Queens community, and where the airport was out there, the community had some concerns. So the Port Authority was able to put money into a community group to help them do fact finding and other things. Can you expound on, are there any examples like that you have done with the Port Authority, or are you seeking to do with the Port Authority?
Yeah. And even in those conversations, we constantly had meetings at Weekway Park, Feldman Middleton Center around the development of Terminal B and C, the expansion of Terminal B and C, and the economic push that would give in our community, but also even in our ward. When we're talking about creating more space for hangars, more opportunities for jobs in that area, that should be going towards South Ward people from all different areas, from cargo to aviation to flight attendants to individuals that are on the ground, and creating that kind of relationship also pushes Port Authority to be able to say, listen, we have to begin to generate resources and give back into that very own community. So it's just not felt at the airport, but it's felt when you're on Haynes Avenue. It's felt when you're on Freeland Heights and on Elizabeth Avenue. It's felt when you're on Nye and Bergen, to be able to work and create and figure out ways to push individuals from the airport in our communities. And that is how you can, grow relationships and continue to grow it in a way that it not only becomes substantial, but it becomes beneficial.
Well, as we come to a close, Jonathan's on mute, so I get to talk. Is there any who are you listening to when you're out there doing the work that you're doing?
I'm always listening to Rakim. The last time I was on the show, I had to, tell folks I was listening to some Public Enemy because it was necessary, about don't believe the hype, because there's a lot of people who just out here saying stuff, but when you turn the page over, it's blank. And so I tell people, don't believe the hype. Look at the work. Look at the track record. Are we in a utopian society? No. Is everything perfect? No. But we have to continue to push. We got to continue to fight on, for the rights of everything that we continue to do, and lift up the standard of our ancestors that have fought to put us in this position to do the things necessary for the next generation.
Well, Councilman, stick with Rakim and just say next time you thought I was a donut. You tried.
That's it. You tried to play me.
That's right.
That's it.
Jonathan?
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on again. Good luck in the next few weeks. We'll let you leave with one last word, and also let them know what your ballot position is and all that.
Right now the line drawing is going to be on Tuesday, so we get new ballot positions. I'm encouraging everyone in the South Ward to come out on June 9th. That is going to be the runoff election on June 9th. And really, let's continue to keep the South Ward moving forward with energy, with momentum that we have been building these last 3.5 years, creating a different energy in the South Ward, creating a different movement of love, of peace, and of excitement. And we need to continue to keep that moving forward, continue fighting for our residents. We want to continue to work with our police, and not just our police, but also create partnerships that they have created to continue to keep those going through our Office of Violence Prevention, Trauma Recovery, Brick City Peace Collective, and all of those subgroups that help every single day out in these communities to help lessen and decrease crime that is going on. We want to continue to work to try to stabilize these property taxes by working at ways to create revenue in the city, getting small box businesses in here, continuing to fight for that, and creating a pool of revenue that our residents can continue to live and grow in this great city. We want to continue to move towards home ownership pathways for the residents in the South Ward, and we want to continue to expand what is happening down with the transit hub that is coming and create excitement around Lionsgate, but more importantly, the new Media High School, the new University High School, and the parks and things that we've developed and built out, from Mildred Helms Park to Chamblee Square to Paulette Jones to Bo Porter, and we want to continue to build and create more recreational space for our young people, our residents, and our seniors alike in the South Ward. So there's some great things that are coming, and we just want you to continue to help us move those things forward. So we're looking forward to everyone coming out again on June 9th and continuing to make me the highest vote getter as I was on May 12th.
My mic again. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon, and good luck.
Good luck, Pat.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So that is that segment. We are always. I just want to add that we are always having politicians on to talk about what they do. Some come on. Some chose not to come on from a few weeks ago. We are going to have the other candidate who's running for the South Ward on next week. Hopefully, we'll have some other people who on next week as well. So we are on to our next guest, and our next guest is someone who is a very successful young political. I don't want to use the term political operative, but I maybe like political operative within the state. Did an incredible job in the governor's race, and literally flipped places that had gone to Trump to go for the current governor. So we are happy to have on Vereliz Santana. She is a New Jersey State Democratic Party committee member, and we are going to be having a great conversation on representation in the state, representation and politics in the state. So, welcome to the show.
So, Ms. Santana, let me start by asking you an easy question that may not be easy. So, since Jonathan said you were a great political operative with the governor's race, and you're on mute, so you may be doing it purposely, but until I finish the question. But during the governor's race, I actually got really frustrated with the helicopter commercial. And a lot of people did, but it seemed to work out. And from a place of strategy, could you, or if you don't want to give up your secrets, it's fine. But from a place of strategy, why did you see that as something we should stick with?
Wow, before she even has the time to say hello and thank you.
Because I know we're limited, so I want to jump right into it. We can't hear you. And she's off of mute.
You're off of mute, but we can't.
Wait, you know what? I had that problem. I had that problem first, so you might have to go out and come back in because I had that problem.
Change your browser, Vereliz. Change your browser and just come on back in.
Yeah, you can either change it. We can't hear you at all. You can either change your browser and come back in, or turn your mic up. Sometimes the mic is already down, and people don't know the mic is all the way down. So one of those two things would work. Or come out, do the mic check, and then come back in.
Yeah, I had that problem today when I came first on. I couldn't.
And yeah, we do have to probably set a few more protocols out in terms of how to get back on and get the message out and speak loudly. But she should be coming back shortly.
And do the test. That test in the beginning is real helpful when it gauges your mic. When your background before you sign on and the mic is going up and down. So yeah, that's a good thing to do.
Yep. So the most important thing that we do on All Politics Local is handle a series of civic discourse. And I think that having these reasoned conversations is really important with all the candidates who are there. Vereliz
is this working?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Oh no, so Donna, again,
yes, ma'am.
I'm not shying away from the question, trial by fire, the story of my life. But to the helicopter question, again, it's a message that resonated with voters across New Jersey. I mean, that she led with being a mom of 4, having served in the Navy, having been a federal prosecutor. People, I'm not seeing the rest of the crowd here.
No, we put it on you on purpose.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Okay.
You do that a lot, right? So
yeah,
I
love to see myself, but not that much. Would rather interact with you all. But again, career in the Navy, mother of 4, federal prosecutor. The resume, especially as a woman, running not just in this state but anywhere in this country, matters, right? So just the resume building, and even though she was a congresswoman and she had particular name recognition in her congressional district, it was important for the rest of the state to understand who she was and where she was coming from.
Well, thank you. I was just gonna say thank you for sticking with what you felt, and y'all did, because it resonated. And while others may have not, I'm sure you got some, critiques in the background. But great job. Go ahead, Jonathan. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So before you even jump into anything else, just some stuff about your biography. I think that the stuff that you've done was really important. But you are a member of the Democratic State Committee right now. So what is that? What is it that you're a member of? What does that mean? And tell us something about yourself and what you did.
Yeah, you're talking to grassroots folks, a lot of whom probably don't even know what the hell that is.
No, I know, and I'm a part of my mission is to demystify politics and like our lingo that we use. And I'm guilty of also using acronyms or terms that are just not common in our spaces or in our communities. I first want to thank you all, Jonathan, Saeed, Donna, for hosting me and for inviting me into your space. I love talking about politics, and I love like the intersection between hip hop and politics. But I was the Latino-based vote director for New Jersey Victory 2025. What does that mean? Essentially, I was tasked with the job of mobilizing and activating and getting out the Latino voters in the state to vote for not just Mikey Sherrill, who was our Democratic nominee for governor, but every Democrat that was on the ballot. So when we talk about down ballot, we know that at the top of the ticket, we had the nominee for governor. Then you have your state representatives, county representatives, and then down to like super hyper local. Again, I was a part of the coordinated campaign coming through the state party, funded through the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, partisan, right? So I just want to make that clear, because folks are sometimes confused between like the different parties. Essentially a staffer of the Democratic campaign.
Okay.
And okay, go ahead.
No, you were saying you were a staffer of the Democratic campaign. You were responsible for swinging, and you say identity voters, like trying to get the Latino vote. What were some of the it seems like you came on the stage right after the 2024 election, where the Latino vote in New Jersey swung to Trump. Like there were a lot of places that were used to be blue and that were red. What was your mission going in there?
And just to do some, I think, level set and context set in here, in 2024, Harris had won New Jersey by about 6 points over Trump versus Biden. And we're talking, so 2024, 2020. So when Biden ran in 2020, he won by nearly 16 points. So we're seeing the gap there, right? So meaning New Jersey shifted about 10 points to my right. And then, and just like digging into those specific data points, we saw that the narrowest Democratic presidential margin in New Jersey since 1992. Right. So
and
New Jersey had
people were talking about it being purple, right? Like they were saying New Jersey's about to be purple.
Well, and we had seen those shifts in the state legislature too. There was a point in time where the assembly had lost a net loss of 6 seats in the Democratic caucus in the assembly. So there were pundits and analysts and operatives that were saying that Jersey is still a purple state, very much like Maryland. So if you guys are like zooming out and you're looking at like the full blue state Democratic landscape across the country, you've got your Californias, you've got your New York, you've got your Maryland, you've got New Jersey. New Jersey had a Republican governor for 2 terms, 8 years, very much like Maryland. We now have Wes Moore there, but again, a new Democratic leader leading a state that was traditionally being run and led by a Republican person with a state legislature that was fully Democratic, right? So it is an interesting dynamic where it's not apples to apples. Like I know that folks like to compare us to California, but there was very much the conversation that New Jersey was swinging. It was a swing state. And there were fears around that, and they were validated because of the results that we saw in 2024. Now, in 2025, just a year later, we saw that Mikey Scherer won the governor's race by more than 14 points statewide. So a lot of those shifts, and there were dramatic shifts from the right to the left. So there were sharp shifts in 2024 from the left to the right, and then we swung back the pendulum from the right to the left. So in Passaic County, which is a traditionally blue Democratic county, a lot of Latinos, when we think about the city of Patterson and Passaic, went from blue to red for Trump. Many majority Latino municipalities in North Jersey shifted between 20 to 30 points towards the Republican Party.
Now, why did that, did that shock you when you saw that? And what are some of the explanations behind that?
I mean, and we have our theories, right? And then some of it is backed by data or polling, where, you know, I think Trump's message, and I heard this on some of your other guests had mentioned this, he is a personality, celebrity, a person who's able to communicate to people in a way that they understand and that resonates with them. I think that also the Democratic Party as a whole has not done the best job of engaging communities of color. And when you think about these surging communities of color,
Hold on, Vereliz. Say that again. That last part. Say that again.
I'm sorry.
Some of us have been throwing rocks at the managers of the Democratic Party for that very point, right?
Yeah.
Not engaging people of color. Which is
say that part again.
The party has not traditionally done the greatest job of engaging in a meaningful way, in a culturally fluent way, communities of color. Meaning those communities go unheard. They feel frustrated and we have these communities in New Jersey. We're the most diverse, densely diverse state in the country. And when these communities feel, and there are levels to this, right? So I don't think we have enough time to get.
That's okay. You don't have to deal with all the levels, but just deal with a couple, like the ones that just jump out to you. And we're gonna have you back.
All right, because I could really talk about this, but like when we think about like engaging all these communities of color, and it's very diverse, very ethnically diverse, religiously diverse too, by the way, racially diverse. They don't necessarily feel loyal to a particular party. They want to go with the party or the folks. It's not even a party. It's not a party mentality. They're going to gravitate towards candidates or leaders who they feel as though are listening to them. So there's no particular, so I can talk very comfortably about this. I'm Latina. I was a Latino-based virtual director. So I'll use this as my example. When we think about the Latinos in Passaic County and them shifting to the right for Trump, it's because the Latinos predominantly in that county are Dominican, did not feel like they were being heard by the Democratic Party establishment in New Jersey, also in the nation. And that's what they're going to gravitate towards. Your message needs to resonate. You need to listen to their concerns. And we can get to exactly what their concerns were, but I know that we're coming up on time.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, let me ask you. And the North is different than the South. Now I'm gonna jump a little bit into a different direction.
Uh-oh.
We see where these what's going on, particularly first in the South with the gerrymandering, the maps, the Supreme Court decision. We see all of that going on.
Okay, so just for a bit of a caveat, Vereliz Santana will not be able to talk about certain things, but continue your question.
Okay, and I just want to know. Yeah, I guess we're beginning to hear the North should jump in. Do you have any, if you can, feelings about that? And then I guess you would say, if a state, by way of these maps, the visual, goes all red, should everybody feel fear, or is there something like, is it just simple, we just need to come out and vote? Because one of the things we don't do is vote our numbers either. So is it as simple as overwhelming the electorate by voting? Is that one thing we could do? So one, should the North start getting involved? And should people feel overwhelmed by what they're seeing?
I love your question, Donna. Would love to offline with you. I wear a couple of different hats. I'm showing up as the former Latino baseball director for New Jersey Victory 2025, but also as a New Jersey State Democratic Party committee woman from Essex County. But I'm not, and I know we're talking about redistricting here. What I will say is that if the feds and our current president is going to attack fair voting across the country, then New Jersey is going to stand up so that we can create a counterbalance and a strategy to the madness that he's unveiling to the world. I would also, and this is me spinning off a little bit on my own, want to encourage everyone to think about Census 2030. There's a lot of importance behind that, because every head that we count matters in a big way. And there are congressional redistricting implications there as well, because it's all based on population. So depending on the states, and we can talk in a partisan way here, but we understand that in the last scenario, New York was due to lose 2, didn't quite get there, lost 1. So, which is why that count really matters.
Oh, okay. So part of what you just talked about and let's just break this down to voters. You were talking about the
Okay, yeah.
census, and you were talking about the importance of the census in a lot of these redistricting things anyway, because a lot of our states, like New York, lost congressional seats. And what is there about census in New Jersey? Were you making a point about the census in New Jersey?
I can't quite get into the census.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
said.
All
Okay.
I'm saying
Okay.
is it's really important that we count everybody in New Jersey.
Period. Okay. But
Fair
even
enough.
but even a general
enough. Fair enough.
question, even a general question, how would you say people don't get so discouraged? Here's what you can, you know what I'm saying? Is it just simply get out and vote? Is that the simple answer? I guess I'm asking.
Well, Don, I'll even take it. I'll rewind it a little bit and say register. We're losing. I know that we were like at 1 million registrations, voter registrations over the Republicans in the state. They've been creeping up on us. What does that mean? We're losing the youth. It is a huge problem. Everyone should not be able to sleep at night. It's something that keeps me up at night, is thinking how disengaged and disillusioned our youth are when it comes to electoral politics. I have members in my own family. There needs to be a coordinated cross government / community based / advocacy strategy here to really get them registered to vote. Even if they're getting their licenses, they're automatically registered to vote. We've got to pull them in.
Right.
Yeah. That's outside of voting. We've got to register more people to vote. We've got to continue. We've got to make sure that gap is wide enough where that purple state scenario is not feasible or viable. And there needs to be a concerted effort there.
Okay.
So I know that you talked about the way in which the votes flip. The marginalized communities, or many different communities, didn't feel that they were actually being engaged. I know we're running out of time, but what are some of the things that you did to actually engage those communities? How did the flip happen? Because New Jersey, like the Latino community, flipped back hard. What were some of the things that made that happen?
It takes a lot of resources and funding. I'll start there. Like, you can't bypass those facts. Those are hard truths. You've got to have people who are committed to actually putting money to action. So the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, funded what's called the BASE program. And what the BASE program is, your traditional Democratic bases are made up of a couple different communities. You've got your Black community, the Latino community, API / what I would call the Middle Eastern / North African community. There was money that was funneled from the National Party infrastructure into our BASE program for New Jersey, for all Democrats, including the Democratic nominee for governor. With that funding, and there are parameters that you need to follow, right? Like, they're not going to give you all this money and expect you to like make magic. There are best practices, evidence-based methodologies that are implemented. We want to engage in what I would say like your non-traditional, non-conventional methods of engaging communities, which is like tapping into your faith networks, your community leaders, putting money into your local grassroots Spanish language media, Portuguese media, Creole, Arabic. When you think about how are people digesting their news, we know that we have folks calling in. Sorry, Zaid.
That's the point I want you to get at. Keep going.
Okay. Well, like people are, relying on different sources of information. They're not just digesting their news via Univision and Telemundo, CNN and AB or what. Local media has been shrinking. I heard earlier the chief of staff / campaign manager highlight that, and that's true. That was a key factor why we were successful. Our exit polls demonstrated that we've got 68% of the Latino vote for a Democratic nominee for governor, which has never been seen before.
Okay.
Never.
And you said that it was the targeting, the money that was put into those specific resources. But if the wrong person is actually sending out the message, then it might not be effective. So in addition to the money, what was it that, because you had a large role in that, right? Like you had a significant role in that. So what was it about the messaging? What was it about you? What did you see that affected this messaging?
We were up and down the state because Latino communities exist everywhere. That's number one. We were tapping into that local media. We were identifying local validators, like hyper local validators.
What is a hyper local validator?
Yeah, you're right. So we're not talking about like an elected official. We're talking about a pastor, a Latino pastor, an evangelical pastor, a Catholic pastor.
Wait, you got evangelical pastors?
Oh,
Yes.
they're huge in New Jersey.
No, but I mean, you got evangelical pastors to support the Democratic candidate. How was that conversation?
We didn't get all of them, but we got enough of them. But that was a part of the strategy, right? Because the thing is that the Democratic message, translating the message into affordability, utilities, we were hearing from our folks, they can't afford their rent. Newark, we're tenant majority. I mean, I don't own a home. I rent. I'm a tenant. Like this city, like tailoring your message to really focus on the issues that people are living through every day was key. And then I think that in the past there was an emphasis to like focus in on some of these like broader ideological, cultural issues. And that's not what people, first of all, it's not a priority. It's not the top of the list. When people are thinking about their needs, they're thinking about providing, supplying food, having heat running through the winter, paying for childcare, prescription drugs. These are the things that actually matter to voters, not some of the other issues that sometimes suck up so much air in the room. So focusing on that helped us also cultivate those relationships with those key religious leaders across the state.
So you were able to, and I'm just trying to read this in translation, you were successful at being able to take people who were like the abortion issue or the trans issue and then turn it into the affordability issue. Because those are in evangelical communities, many of them are, when it comes to being pro-life, that becomes very important. And that's one of the reasons why they vote Republican. My cousins who go to a church that is, they said they voted for Trump because of the babies, because they wanted to save the babies, right? And so what you're saying, that message went from the issue of why do you have trans people playing athletics, or those issues that could be would motivate Latino evangelical voters to, you don't have basic affordability, and that those issues resonated more.
They did. Remember, our churches and our faith leaders are on the front lines when it comes to this stuff. So when people are seeking social services, when people are seeking shelter, when people are seeking energy assistance, they're talking about this at church. And that was effective. And then we also understand that my communities, right? Like I have a whole WhatsApp chat that I have muted because my family is off the chain, but like communication is shared through, and information is shared through these super like localized ways of communicating, like WhatsApp. Like they're not always looking at the news. They're not reading a newspaper. We have to make sure that information is being disseminated through all of the different ways that people are receiving their information. And that's key. That was key.
So that's even more so. It's not a matter of like just getting information. It's the way in which you get it, because people are online. People are utilizing different forms of media. I also think that maybe, and I'm not sure if this played out during the election. That was when Trump and ICE raids and the news media, and we saw them blatantly over and over again, from what happened in Minnesota to what was going on in New Jersey, what's still going on in New Jersey, right? But it seemed like there was a moral issue, and there was the decision about racial profiling being not only fought for by the Justice Department, but good. Did that blatant, like the Kavanaugh rule was so bad, like if you look like you could be an immigrant, you can be targeted. Was there any feeling that people who voted for Trump voted incorrectly, because now our communities were actively being attacked?
So the position on immigration shifted, and ICE specifically, and ICE enforcement, because folks did like Trump's message on ICE, right? Because you do have this mentality is, we got here legally, this is what we're doing, we're producing. And there was a lot of that, not just amongst the immigrant communities, people hailing from other countries that, receive their proper documentation. But then we saw these folks coming in untrained, without judiciary warrants, bypassing, completely circumventing like our legal protections. Like, this is not the America that I signed up for. I thought this was the America of my dreams. And I think it clicked into place for a lot of folks. So what they're perpetuating wasn't, when they were seeing it in action, wasn't aligned with their values.
And so that's that is something that I was like, I know that we kept hearing story after story of people saying, I voted the wrong way, especially after the racial profiling issue came up. One of the things that I'm always like is Blacks and Latinos should have very, very similar politics, and that we have very, very similar like people who hate us, right? Across the board, we live in the same communities. We are part of the same communities. We go to the same schools. We are so interconnected that the dangers that we both face as a community are also interconnected, right? And it seems like there should be always these strong alliances that are there. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Blacks and Latinos and politics, and having a real unifying type of thing, not just in the city of Newark, but like statewide, etc. What are the areas for us being able to
or US
work
wide,
together?
US, wherever we live at.
I will say that, and we've seen this, right? Like, there are some recent elections that have happened that we can use as an example, right? Because we've heard a lot of this rhetoric around immigration, and we've seen our Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, we've seen our mayor, I do reside in the city of Newark, our mayor Roz J. Baraka, who have demonstrated such strength and courage. I have to give it to them, because that takes guts, and have fought really hard to dispel this notion that, okay, it's happening to them, but we're good. No. Just because you're not understanding that they're leaders and they understand the responsibility that they have to signal to the rest of the world that it's happening to them, in your brain, you're like, there's this division of them versus us, but those are imaginary lines. That stuff doesn't exist. At the end of the day, when we think about a Black and brown community, and I'm trying to, be selective with my words here.
And I'll even say it, but I'll say it, Ms. Santana, also that is happening to them because they were protecting everybody. Everybody behind those walls didn't necessarily look like LaMonica and Mayor Baraka. They look like everybody back behind those walls. And they were protecting everybody in spite of them maybe not going home to their families. So that's what I would hope everybody was seeing, that they put their bodies on the line for everybody.
And it's kind of like when Kavanaugh made his ruling. Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court justice, that ruled that that in the case that's ongoing, that racial profiling is okay. And literally, I mean, this is like, he literally said that there are so many undocumented people in Los Angeles that if you speak Spanish, if you look Latino, if you're around Home Depot for like the decision, like if you're around there, then you can be questioned, harassed. The specific cases, a man who was a U.S. citizen that was slammed to the ground and detained for 3 hours because he was speaking Spanish, right? And for every Black politician and person who saw that and heard that, even though they were specifically targeting Latinos, we knew that we also look like we immigrants. As in, if you look like an immigrant, what in their mind, we knew they were talking about us too, right? So I think that these areas for solidarity are like are necessary for all of our lives, right?
But
are necessary for all of our freedom.
Yeah, you articulated that very well. At the end of the day, we're being seen as one. I learned that really early in my life. I've got really good examples as to why, even though I may not necessarily look, but like people will categorize you that way. But even beyond that, we just know it's the right thing to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And since you invoke Congresswoman McIver, we're going to pause for a moment and congratulate her as she continues to put her body on a line, that she is now expecting a child. And there's lot going. Yeah, she made that announcement, and it's gotten that much more challenging because stuff is still hanging in limbo as she still fights. And so, yes, we have to.
Some of the media round was very negative too, by the way.
What'd you say, Zai?
Some of the media round, that announcement that she made about her expecting has been very negative, by the way.
Yeah.
How dare she do that and she's facing charges. Some of that media really been funky.
It will continue to be negative, right? Because the media and the public and people will continue to demonize a Black woman in power or with
this community that don't want nobody to have an abortion. What? This is what we're talking about, having Trump babies, right? How did that just come out in the news the other day? It's crazy.
They contradict themselves every day.
I'm sorry, Ms. Santana, what'd you say?
No, I said they contradict them.
Yes, it's so contradicting. Yeah.
No,
there is no law.
I know we're reaching the end of this segment. Our next guest is here. We hope to have you back quite a few more times on our broadcast and having lots of conversations about the cool stuff you did and your ideas about the future.
And don't wait, and do not wait for us to call you, because this is very important. So make your way in here with a phone call or whatever. If there's something that we need to know, please, by all means, because this is really important. And civics is really, really important. So please.
I know we didn't even get to the part of like building up the party here. So we'll
right.
So you need an hour.
With only half an hour. But we got to have you back, and we'll have you back. We'll have you back soon. We could even have you back within the next month, the next few weeks. We want to get you back on, and so welcome to All Politics So Local. And,
thank you so much.
And then before you leave, who are you? Yes, this is a hip hop political show. So when you're out there doing that work and you're preparing to do the work, is there a hip hop artist, individual that you're listening to, group or individual?
I will say I'm a whole fan. Like, I listen to Reasonable Doubt. Can I Live is my favorite rap song. So it's like the thing that like gets me going. But I will say, because the drop was today and I'm a millennial, so you couldn't tell, I listened to Drake. Right?
Listen, Drake is he just wants some more punishment because he in there going after people and stuff.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, well, one thing you can say about Drake, he's not a punk, right? Like, he has challenged Common. He has challenged. He challenged Meek Mill. He challenged quite a few people.
He's taking shots to LeBron, like his boys too. Like, he's going like in. Like,
yeah, they say he took shots in these 3 albums at a couple of people. So even if he has to come back and talk about voting and Drake, yeah, you don't have to do that.
By the way, there's a Drake listening party going on at Kali's Cafe down on Halsey Street. New Turkish inspired cafe. By the way, just want to support local Black owned business. It's a listening party, but yeah.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Kendrick and I will pull up, okay?
Thank you, and we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great and blessed night.
You too.
That was great. We're glad to have her on. We have to have her back to talk more about politics and what's going on in New Jersey.
Registering voters. Yes.
Absolutely. Walter, we will let you will introduce the next segment.
Yeah, we're really in a crunch too. But this dear sister and friend is one of my favorite organizers and advocates in the streets. When her son and his co-defendants were being accused and being put through the system, the media didn't get it right in terms of who was responsible for leading the charge to make the noise and do the advocacy and hit the streets and march to Albany and all of that to get them out. It was this Black woman right here. This is Sharone Salaam. Heads up Committee for the Wrongly Accused, and it's the mother of Dr. Yusuf Salaam, councilman for the village of Harlem. Now, we're supposed to have Hawa Bah on with her. I don't know what happened, Sharone, and you got on a little late, so we got to like do this kind of quick, but we got the right one if we're going to have one, right? Sharone has been through a lot and has stood up for a lot in a way with nothing but the most upright dignity, and I'm supremely proud to call her a friend and comrade.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and this is Yusuf's mom, right?
This is Yusuf's mom. That's right.
Yeah, Yusuf got your whole face, Miss Salaam. He got your whole face.
Everybody.
Hello. Did you hear what I said? Yusuf have your whole face.
Can I do what?
He looks just. I said Yusuf look just like you. He looks just.
Working?
Can you hear us?
Your mic is working. Can you hear us?
I can hear you right this minute. So ask your question quick.
All right.
Tell her what I said, Zaid. She said she couldn't hear me.
Donna, my co-host just said your son looks just like you. She's just me. Don't mute because you just muted yourself.
Oh my God.
There you go. Stay there. All right, now.
All right, I think she's frozen.
Oh God. Well, we having trouble with this. So we have a tough night with connections with some of everybody.
Yeah, I think everyone's having different internet
connections.
Problems.
The only one that got through and stayed through all right.
That is true. That is true.
And Evelyn is Evangeline.
Yeah, tell her. Okay. Yeah, tell her to keep talking.
I don't know what it is, but
no, we can still hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, good, good, good. Yes, to answer your question, it's always great when somebody looks like you, even if it's a son.
I don't know if I can claim that one.
Yes, yes, it is. So we've been walking this walk a long time,
Yes, ma'am, we
all
have.
of us in the community.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, somehow I'm getting the feeling that we're kind of trying to start walking it again. So we're going to have to put our boots on and
I
our
keep
marching
ready.
shoes and
Keep
get
ready.
ready for the war that's coming.
That's right. Keep ready. But let's
Is
jump
that
right.
how they say it here? We're in America, so that's how they say it here.
Yeah,
If I
yeah.
was overseas, I'd say it a little differently. But yes, there's a lot of changes in the wind, and we have to change with it and decide which side we're going to be on,
We're gonna be on the side of the
whether we're
world.
going forward or whether we're going back.
We're
I
gonna be
had a
on
little song I made up for the people to help encourage them to go on their way, and it was called I Ain't Going Back. Been there, done that, ain't doing it no more, ain't going back, get on the road, let's go.
yes, ma'am.
Anybody who want to sing that song with me, feel free.
Now listen. In the few minutes that we have,
But, in the meantime, we have been doing a lot of work in the community, and we still are. We've been working with a number of projects that we have underway. And one of the projects deals with stolen lives, where we're working with, I don't know if you know this kind gentleman that works with us, Sanford Williams.
Sanford is a
He's
new
been working with us
known him for years.
as well as the mother of Mohamed Bah, Hawa Bah, and we're working on trying to get a street naming on behalf of her son, as well as some bills changed around that would help everyone in our community who have mental health issues, because the people who have mental health issues are in a great crisis when they need care. Most people don't understand how to deal with them, and they're getting called on, and many of them are getting injured.
And
And
killed.
we have to deal with these issues in our community because, they live here too. And we all, what they say, just got to get along. We're going to try to get along the best way we can. And we're going to have to get along with one another. We can't do it alone. We're going to need one another to walk this walk that we're into today. And right now, I know in the situation of Mohamed Bah, we're working on trying to get a street named on behalf of him, and not only him, on behalf of all of those people who have been killed by the police wrongfully, who
Right.
had mental health issues, who were sick and who were deaf, or who had issues that needed medical care. We need our medical people to be a first responder in issues regarding medicine and medical conditions. It's vital. We cannot expect the police to be the doctors on the scene, or to understand the difference between a person who's having a mental health breakdown and a person who's actually violent, crazy, because this person who's having the mental health breakdown might be acting as if they are that, but all they're begging for in those situations are help.
Help. That's right.
Can you help me? And unfortunately, just like the police are not trained to be foster care parents, they're not trained to be, obviously, doctors at the scene. We need medical professionals to be there to help people out. And we need to recognize that these people live in our communities. That's the problem. That we want to put a blind eye toward these people so that it's almost like they're invisible. You see them, but they're invisible. You
Or
want
they're
them to
just
go
or
away,
can you hear me, Sharone?
but they're still here.
I don't think she can hear us. Donna, say something. Yeah, Donna, say something.
Mrs.
Now, I can't
Salaam,
hear anybody.
yeah, I don't think she can hear because the same thing. I think she would have had to go out
I
and
can't
come
hear
back
a
in.
soul.
She can't hear anybody.
No. You all can't hear me either?
No,
We
no.
can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Well,
Yes,
Yes.
see, I
ma'am.
keep talking.
We
Then I
hear
won't have to
you.
be questioned. You all have to
Yeah,
just
I'm trying.
accept
Yeah,
what I say.
no, I got you good, and you
Or
got out
should
a
I
lot.
go off and try to come back in? Which
No,
one should I do?
well, stay there for now. Stay there for now.
Go off? Okay, I'm gonna cut it off and try to come back in.
Because she can't hear Zay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's something. This,
And Zay, and just why don't we just let
some background while she's trying to do that, right?
No, I was.
Yes, to do that.
I said let.
Mohamed Bah was killed in a mental health crisis in September 2012, and then we've had a number of cases like it over the last few years. But in New York City, we were able to mobilize a lot of attention around his case and around the character of his case. But since then, just as we've been trying to do things here in Jersey to create community-led crisis response team, that's happening in New York also. And New York already has pilot programs called Be Heard, right? That are piloting in Manhattan, Upper Manhattan, and in parts of the Bronx. There's a struggle to get it citywide, and as a restorative justice measure, and to bring broader community attention to the question. We wanted to lift up Muhammad's name in a very ceremonial way, similar to the way Sandra Bland's name was lifted up in Prairie View, Texas. We have the Sandra Bland Park Highway by virtue of what happened to her. And of course, we got the George Floyd Boulevard in Minneapolis, right?
And this is going to be, and they're going to rename, it's 124th Street and Morningside.
That's the background. That's what we're trying to do.
Right.
Process. Most of the work that is usually done to make something like that happen has been done. New York, in every voting district, has what they call community boards, right? Mm-hmm. And if you want to get to something done from the bottom up on the policy front, you got to get your community board on board to the fullest, or it ain't gonna go nowhere, right? That work has been done, and for some reason, the councilman responsible for putting that forward through the city council simply has not done that, and we have not gotten a clear explanation as to why. He's a councilman. His name is Sharone, and he also happens to be the majority leader for the Democratic Party in the city council, and it's a young councilman too. Mm-hmm. I understand why this young man is not putting this bill forward. So we may have to raise some more hell. So this conversation is to lift up that story. And build that broader support, help keep that conversation moving, because it's a wall that really doesn't make any sense, really doesn't, right? And I hope we can get back on.
Yeah, right? And it looks like in reading, the public advocate is behind it, and he tied it to other legislation as well. So there's a
the support
is focused and broad. Yes,
support for it. There's been no identifiable opposition from the community at all. If there's something happening, and there could be, silent opposition from the police unions. We don't know because this guy isn't talking, right? That's the only thing that I can think of, right? Because the work has genuinely been done. Right? The councilman for that district is Sharone's son. He put his behind it. All those natural stakeholders. And
all the T's have been crossed and the I's dotted. Yeah.
Like, what's the problem? What's the issue? Right. And Be Heard exists. Mm-hmm. If there's more support, it needs to be built out through the city. Like when you're trying to get these crisis response teams built out through the state here in Jersey. But Be Heard is operational and has been operational since 2021. And we want them to be more heard. Right.
And what's interesting is the community boards have overwhelmingly supported, which is probably one of your biggest hurdles.
It is a principal hurdle.
Yes, there you go. Can you hear us?
I can hear you a little bit.
There you go.
Can you hear me, Sharone?
Yes.
Okay, now while you were off, I did the background. I told everybody about the work that has been done to get 124 on Morningside, named after Muhammad. I gave the background on his case, and the question that we're all asking, right, together is why is not Majority Leader Sharone putting this question up for a vote in the city council? What's your read on that? What are we telling our folks to get this dude to move?
Well, I think part of it is they just don't want to do it. I don't know what it is that makes people don't want to do things, but they just don't want to do it. And so what we're try to do moving forward, because I know Brother Sanford has done a tremendous amount of work on this issue, along with Sister Hawa Bah, in trying to get it done. So we're at a stage now where we need to decide how we're going to move forward. And we're looking at trying to move forward differently, maybe with a different council person that's more interested in understanding of the health issues that are related to mental health, and also someone who understands that there are mentally healthy, unhealthy people within the community. I think that's the
And the
biggest thing.
fact that we've got Be Heard already operational,
Yes,
right?
it is
I
already.
mean, that needs to be a part of the discourse. That needs to be part of this, the broader strategy of having the help to be the help that our people need when they need it.
Yes, it does. But you see, right now, uh, that particular entity, even though it is on the books, is not really working that well. We need to upgrade that particular entity so that there's like a 24 hours. It's
Yes,
only it's very limited in terms
yes,
of what people can do. There's only one social worker that's dealing with the entire city, so
yeah.
that
That's
makes it
crazy.
almost impossible for
Yeah,
anybody to get any kind of care, because the caregivers are not ready and available within that arena when you have to cover thousands and thousands of people. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And
yeah.
if you don't have your breakdown at a certain time, the police are going to show up.
That's
So
right.
we
Yeah,
need to
we have a
address
similar
all of
problem here
those
on New Jersey
concerns
side.
as we look at that particular issue, so that people who are faced with this condition, and many people do have this medical situation, can get the proper help when they need it, the
Mhm.
proper care from people who are experienced and able to do those types of things. So
Yeah,
we're moving forward. Uh, People are still trying to find out why this has not happened, because I had been under the impression that we were told that even Abreu was going to move forward with it, but that has not happened,
yeah.
and the section has closed for now. So I guess we are trying to formulate another kind of strategy to make this work, because we need this.
Absolutely,
This is a
absolutely.
population that's in our community, and we need to acknowledge their existence, because it's not only Mohamed Bah, it's so many, many others who have this type of situation, and who may be caught up and who are caught up in the same thing that's happening here today.
We have
Trying
we
to
have a similar
I,
struggle here, this show takes place in Jersey,
oh
uh,
yeah.
and I had my hands full, with we actually got a bill passed in Jersey. I had my hands full with that, called the Seabrooks Washington bill, around two young men who were killed in two different cities, but like right behind each other, and one was a community-based violence interventionist. you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a natural place where the work should be built. Was blocked. He was, his people were literally on the scene, and the police wouldn't let them come and help him. You know,
Right.
so
This has,
and then at the same time, the state has a program called Arrive Together that the Attorney General was pushing, that has a police officer with a mental health professional, but that's only available at certain hours
yes,
in
that's
certain communities. It's not built into emergency response. So, and
that's
this is happening around the country, right? So this
yeah,
is a
yeah.
national conversation. That's why I really wanted to get
Oh,
y'all on to this to expand
And,
it.
and Mother Salaam, really quick, you said they don't. But for reading, the community group wanted it done, the public advocate wanted it done. So can you identify who the they might be who doesn't want it done?
the other people in the community that you have not mentioned, some of them don't want it done,
Okay.
because see, there's a process that you have to go through to have these things done.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
it could be apparently we're learning overruled or dismissed at any part of the process, because first you have to go out and after you identify where you want it done, find out whose area is the political affiliate within that particular space. Then to get signatures, you have to go to the community board and
Yes, I mentioned that. Yes.
group meeting, and then the full community vote for a vote. This issue was voted on 100%.
Yes.
It gets passed to that community leader within the group who can move it and who may choose not to move it. But that is the issue of that particular individual, because it can't move without that particular politician moving it.
Gotcha.
And this young man is not just the councilman for the area, but he's also the majority leader for the Democratic Party in the council. And that's
Yeah.
Oh, there's an old song, "Open the door, Richard, and let me in." Come on, stop playing, man. Stop playing. Now, listen, I just want to give you this because I know we're up against time. We got another guest coming in, and give Hawa my regards. I want y'all to be with us May 19th, right? May 19th, we go up to Malcolm's gravesite and we shut down 125th Street. I want you to be guests on our bus so our bus is a very political bus. It's the Freedom Fighters bus, right? We not sipping tea. Sip they won't, but that ain't, we gonna talk, right? Okay. And on the street, we shut it down, we bring everything. All right.
Okay.
So that's there. That's there. And I'll send it back to y'all formally too, so you see it. Did you see the letter that we sent to the city council?
I didn't see the letter.
Well, something's up with the email then, because I definitely sent it.
We know things have been delivered. We know people are calling, and they're pushing on. We haven't stopped. We're still pushing full speed ahead.
Right on. That's right. That's right.
So, Mother Salaam, before you leave, this is a hip hop political show. When you're doing the work that you do in the community, is there any hip hop artists that you listen to, individual or group?
Well, I don't have a radio, but if I had one, I'd listen to them all.
Okay.
With them.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Right,
okay.
Give your young man my regards. I haven't seen him in a minute.
Give all them hip hop artists my regards too.
Yes.
I'm a jazz man. This is a hip hop show. I'm a jazz man in the house.
That love music that makes the world go round.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you.
All right now.
All right, I'll be in touch.
All right.
We'll be in touch.
Right.
Okay.
She lifted that. She goes out. She lifted up Mr. Williams. Sanford Williams is a teaching legend from Newark. He taught history at Weequahic High School for decades. And as in his up in years, he was treated very badly in the end by the Newark Board of Education because he was really advocating for the proper inclusion of our history.
Right.
He's a genuine legend. Mr. Williams has got to be close to 80. He's really getting up there. But when he found out about it, he took it very personal and actually started doing some advocating on his own and helping the united effort himself. So I wanted to lift up, his a local voice on the Newark side is also helpful in New York as well. So I just wanted to
and knowing that her son, he got to look at her son at every meet and it still won't. Okay. All right. Is the D? Are people?
Hello.
All right. Our next guest.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
All right, great. We have our next guest coming on. This is very cool. It's a play that is opening up on Saturday, May 23rd. It's called Angel's Palace, and we have the guest on, who I believe we have the writer Carolyn Jones on, and we have two other people, an actor and a few other people who are part of this particular production. We're going to have them on, and we're going to we have oh great, we have everyone jumping on now. We have Anne Lindsay.
Hello, everyone.
We have Artiste Norvell. We have actress Journey Amira, and we have Carla. They're all coming on. Carla is part of your group?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Carla is a part of your group?
Carla.
Artiste, can you hear me?
Sometimes I think there's something going on.
Can you hear me? Journey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And Anna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Anna, is Carla a part of your group?
Well, I don't know by the name of Carla. It should be JT.
Is Carla a part of the D program?
It should be JT. They're
JT. Okay. So Artis, if somebody could text Artis and tell him to go out and come back in.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Okay.
We can hear
He
you.
needs to go out and come back in.
Can you hear us?
We can't hear.
Yeah, Anna, can you text him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And JT, can you hear us?
I can hear you quite well.
You can't hear
Okay,
me?
so Artis, can you hear us?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. Anna, he can hear us.
Okay, great.
And is there a Carla that
All right.
You don't see me?
We saw you, we didn't hear you. Go ahead, Jonathan.
We can see you. All right, we can see you, but couldn't hear you then. So welcome to All Politics Are Local. We are honored and glad to have you on. The play is called Angel's Palace. It was, and the slogan is, I was taught to obey, not to live. It's a play by Carolyn Jones, and it opens at the Newark Museum on Saturday, May 23rd, and it also has a second show on Sunday, May 24th. So welcome to All Politics Are Local. We like having the arts featured, and we are glad that you have a play that is opening up. Artis Norvell got in touch with me and told me about this wonderful production. I will have Artis, you can introduce the guests and also the production.
Sure, not a problem. So we got to play together. It's called Angel's Palace. It's going to be May 23rd. Doors open at 1:30 p.m. Show starts at 2. Have some exciting guests that are here with us that are actually characters within the play, including myself. I'm going to play Captain Bingham. I'm going to be the one who actually cracks the case. I'm undercover. I'm like Axel Foley, deep undercover, Beverly Hills cop. And we're going to take care of some folks who are sex trafficking, money laundering, and there's actually a murder. And I'm going to solve it all. They have no idea what's about to go down, but we are here. I'll let the other cast, you got Journey, you have Anna, and you have JT. They're going to be cast members as well. They play huge parts within this here stage play, and they are a lot more familiar than I. I am like a baby waiting to be boomed. They are the ones that are going to be the ones rocking the room.
Well, who can tell me the inspiration behind the storyline? Because our teacher just get. Okay, go ahead.
Well, hi everyone. My name's Anna Lindsay. I play the role of Sasha Fierce, DA Sasha Fierce, and the storyline is written by Carolyn Jones, who is the playwright, and it is based on a true story of her niece being trafficked. And Carolyn basically was the one very instrumental in rescuing her from the trafficking situation. And since then, it became a mission to help others. And she's used her writing and playwright platform to be able to express what the play does throughout each scene or throughout the various scenes. Is it shows the ways that the people are lured into trafficking. So we just want to again bring awareness, and we have been privileged to be a part of it. The play is, as Artis explained, it's more like a movie, if we can describe it. You're there. There's a lot of twists and turns. It's one that it is intriguing, but with a deep message. So I'm hoping I answered.
And your name is interesting because your name is a play on Beyonce. Where'd that come from, Carolyn or you?
Beyonce?
That's her alter. Sasha Fierce is her Alternate ego. You didn't know that?
You are correct. I forgot about that. So I'm gonna use that even more.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
So
All
yeah,
right, go ahead.
I do have an alter ego with it. I don't know how much more you want me to talk until we share with the
Well, you
others.
can let you can, like you said, you was going to pass it to the next person.
Sure.
Who was else? Go ahead.
Sure.
JT Journey, did y'all want to say anything?
I will.
Okay.
My name is Journey Amira. I'm just blessed to be here right now. I'm so honored to play Tiffany and be a part of something special and being in this play. And bring awareness to sex trafficking. That the sex trafficking victims. That's just the one thing I want to say.
It's interesting because it seems like this is because the actors are so lively and funny, but this topic matter and the play seems like it's very deep, right? Like and heavy.
Yes.
Is what is the tone of the play just obviously based on its the subject matter? Is when you come to the play, or should we expect to bring tissues? Is it lots of crying, or is it like a action play? Like what is the vibe that
So
we go to the play that night? What's the vibe?
it's okay. It's
Go
an
ahead,
in
JT.
between sadness and mad. Like you want to get mad, and you want to get sad, and you want to cry, and you want to have all the emotions, and you want to get excited. You want to get hyped up.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to get if you're a big emotional person, you want to be there. That's
Okay.
You want to be
And
there.
Journey, how
JT?
old are you?
Yeah. So I play Madam Shy.
She's going in and out.
All right. So
She's going in.
JT, you're going in and out. I don't know what it is with the various people. Many people tonight have been having tech issues, including us, going in and out tonight. So JT, can you? We can't hear you.
Mhm. That's fine.
Okay,
JT is more breaking up.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up. Try going out and then coming back in again, and that could help.
And Artis, you can hear us, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I tell you, Journey,
Mm-hmm.
I've been rehearsing and totally unaware as to the skill level this young lady has. So she kind of you see how she's starting off, but as she goes along, she picks up. And what she does within the performance and how she projects her character, it blows me away. So it tells me, and I'm a newbie, so I'm like, well, I gotta tighten up my game. This young lady is doing very well here. And so I have to now study more to make sure that my part comes across effective for the character in which I'm handling. So I'm trying to keep up. But Journey and Anna or Sasha Fierce, Tiffany, when they're in their role, it's a whole nother level. To me, it's just
Thank you.
they're on point, and I'm just like, okay, let me get it together.
Well,
So
the
I'm
actor's
blessed
job,
and I'm fortunate.
He is too. He is
the
too.
actor's job on stage with other actors, you have to feed off each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the magic. That's how you make the magic. You got to feed off each other. How did the play come to you? It's a heavy topic. It's been around. It's got some mileage.
Mhm.
Based on a little bit of research I've done. How did the play come to y'all? How did y'all get involved?
Well, I've been involved for going on 5 years now, or going on 5 years now, and it happened with my daughter. My daughter was initially in the play, me being around set, they pulled me in as an extra, and like, wow, I believed in the actual play itself, so it was like a no-brainer for me just to get involved, and that's how I actually started with it. So I've been there for a while. She's had been, and I've been in some of her other productions as well, but she's been doing this for the 10 years plus on some level.
Okay. So this is the same play has been traveling for about
It's,
10 years.
it has been, and then she has some other productions as well, based around domestic violence. So that's her message.
The playwright's got a rep. Yeah, the playwright's got a rep. Who's directing?
His name is Garrett Patterson, and he as well has been with Carolyn from the beginning, 10 years plus as well.
Wow, yeah. That's ambitious. That's loaded. That's fully loaded. That's fully loaded.
It is, and it's evolved. Are you there, JT?
Yeah, JT is back. Go ahead.
All right, are you on? JT, are you on?
She's going in.
Oh, we still can't hear you. It might be, there are two things that you might want to do also. When you come back, there's a place where you could test your mic before you enter the studio. Test to see if that's there, that's working. Turn up your volume. Or it just might be, like if you're on your cell phone, it might be because of where you are and it's just not streaming as well.
Okay, let's try one.
You might have to put your arm up a little bit.
Put a hanger. So Artis and Anna,
right? You remember that? Hang your hand out the window. Right there. Wave it. Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, stay right there.
Yeah. Remember that?
Right
So
here.
Journey.
Yes.
Yeah. Journey Art. Yeah. Journey, Artis, and Anna. I'm a big fan of Dick Wolf's SVU and have been for years. And I'm a bigger fan of Mariska Haggerty, who has come into a place of advocacy in her role around sexual victims. And I do a lot of reading, but Journey, when I looked at you, how you're presenting yourself, if you write this down, and if your parents let you watch, I don't know if they let you watch SVU, but all of y'all can do it. This is season 7, episode 3. It kind of looks like how your setup is right now, and how a majority of the film was shot was with like your setup right now. So if you ever want to get some inspiration, look at season 7, episode 3. And sexual victims and trafficking has become a bigger issue. Have any of you kind of looked into the advocacy or done any work in that area?
It is required with Carolyn, with all of the actors, that we are certified under the advocacy part of it. So we all have to have special training with it, and also our advocates ourselves with it on the outside.
And do, after the play is over, have you had anybody ever come up to you and said, "Hey, I need help," or anything to that effect? Has that ever happened, or do y'all have any material that you hand out that if people do need help?
She does. It is actually a big part of the production in itself. She networks with those in the community. So we're in New Jersey. She will hook up with those in the New Jersey area that have shelters and so on, and partnership with them so that in your area you will have the resources that you need. A lot of times the audience, as you say, the audience, they're triggered. They know someone. A situation can relate. Again, I'm telling you, the scenes are, they're running, one of the scenes is a palace, and that's where Rolf, the main character, Garrett Patterson, he's director and the main character, that is set up as a gentleman's club. And we know sometimes, or a lot of times that type of situation is there. So, people are in the audience relating to the different scenes and are triggered in different ways. again, what this journey had mentioned, you're laughing, you're entertained. We have Corey Wim, who is well-known artist. She has special guests in the palace who performs. So again, in relation to what answering your question, yes, there's information given before, after, about why we're doing what we're doing, how you can get help in your resources in your backyard.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And Journey, how has it helped you as being one of the younger persons in the play? Has it helped you to talk to friends about safety and things of that nature?
So I'd want to give like information to other people and help them, because like not a lot of people understand, like these young girls, they are like one step ahead to getting in danger.
Mm.
And like a lot of my friends are girls, so they don't understand. They'll be like, Journey, what you talking about, girl? What you talking about? And I'm like, I'm in a play right now. I don't know what you doing.
All right, Kelly, you're doing a good job. All right, Journey. Well, you keep that up, and as my mother said, you got all your life to be grown, so stay a little girl as long as possible and listen to your mother. Okay.
I would
That's interesting. And I'm sorry that was a big statement. You said they one step away from being. I'm glad you recognize that's a very big statement you made.
Yeah.
I would say, even though that the message is heavy, it's delivered in a way that is not terribly spooky or dark, in such a way that it is hard to handle, as you can see, a young girl. So we just encourage everyone to come out. But yes,
So
I
it's a
think someone
family
else is going
friendly. So it's more family friendly. It is something that would be like a PG if you had to rate it. It is something that everyone should come out and see. Like all of your energy is very PG, family friendly. And then when I see the subject matter, I'm like, ooh. So is it just like Saturday family can come, Sunday after church people come? Like what is the vibe?
Look at Anna's eyes. You know what, Jonathan? That's interesting, because I don't think Journey just said it. I don't think you get scared until you get wiser.
and that's it right there. It brings the awareness. It does bring the awareness. So having information makes you, as she said, more alert and informed about your environment, about the ways people are lured into these horrible situations. And what type of situations there are, because it's not always in the, being on a corner and taken in that way. There's different ways that you're lured into those situations.
That's right.
Okay. Well, I know we're entering toward the end of our program, but we want to thank all of our guests. We have a final question that we're going to ask everyone, and then just very briefly answer, and then also to finally tell us where to buy tickets, where can we find more information. So
here's the question.
So Donna, do you want to ask the question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, JT, you couldn't talk, but that's the best amen head nod I've ever seen. So the question is, whoever could answer it, or everyone answer it. And like Jonathan said, one person could answer about how to get tickets and all of that. But the question is, this is a hip hop political show. Is there a hip hop individual or group that you listen to that keeps you inspired?
So we could start with
Jeremy. You want to start?
Tupac.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Sasha Fierce?
Gosh, I do listen to some hip hop, but I mean Biggie's always, getting me there.
Okay.
JT, you want to try again?
Right.
Oh.
Aw. All right, Archie.
She said Tupac, I think.
Oh, I did a Tupac. Hey,
You know,
that's funny. All right, so
listen to
Archie?
Blackstreet
they
too.
mentioned some good ones. I mean, really, they talked about some good ones. But then I heard earlier when I was listening to Pat Council, right? Pat Council said Rakim.
That's right.
So I'm feeling. I listen to all hip hop. Actually, I'm a hip hop head. I'm not what do you call that? Club music or that old school music. I'm more hip hop. That's what I came up on. So I'm gonna roll with Rakim.
And Journey, you had one more. Who were you going to say, Journey?
Blackstreet.
Blackstreet. Okay. Artiste, how do you get the tickets? How do people?
Well, simply you could either you could go on to my page, or you could go on to events and look up Angels Palace. You can go to Eventbrite, or when you go on to the events to look up Angels Palace, you could type in the phone number, which I believe is 862-388-5080. But check that out. But I think I'm correct. But come on out. We would love to see you. I think that you're going to see a play that's full of excitement and drama, and you'll learn a lot about what to prevent your younger ones from being engaged in that, whether it be male or female.
And Artiste, if you have a flyer and you give it to Jonathan, we can put it on a page.
Yeah. That'll be, yes. I think you got it, right, Jonathan? Or I'll send you another one. It's not a problem.
Send another. Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yes.
And thank you for coming on. And we are nearing the end of our broadcast. A shout out to Dwight Allen. Dwight, thanks for watching the show. And know that you watched a lot last week, and you were you're someone I have known for debate for really pretty much most of my life, because you were a debater in high school as well. So thanks for watching, man, and I want to give you a big shout out. So until next week, take care, everyone, be safe. Go see a wonderful play next weekend. It's not this weekend, it's next weekend. And check it out. It's at the Newark Museum. And if I wanted to just go online and see it, where would I go? Artiste, like if I wanted to see the play and I wanted to go online and find it, what would I do?
That'd be a great question. I don't know. I guess you type in Angels Palace. I'm not sure if it's up there, probably at the Newark Museum, but I'm not 100%.
You could go to JT Kit.
There you go.
Oh, when she got that JT Kit out, you could go to JT Kit.
Okay.
JT.
Or you could go on my page.
Yeah, it would be jtkit.com/angels.
jtkit.com/angels.
Yeah.
That.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of our guests who came out this week. Middy, Baraka, thank you. And thank you for your patience as we were having some technical difficulties in getting started. Thank you, Pat Council, for coming on the show. And good luck on the South Ward Council person race. Vereliz Santana, thank you for coming on and coming on again for us and talking about the New Jersey State Democratic Party. Sharone, Salaam, thank you for talking to us about the efforts to deal with and highlight police violence when people are having a mental health crisis. And also thank you for everyone from Angels Palace for the work that you are doing and the production that you are about to have. So much thanks, and we will see you soon. We will see you next week.
Come on through.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.